2009 Radnor Township Design Review Board. We have a fairly full agenda tonight, so let's go ahead and get started. We just have a couple of ground rules, and I'll capitulate to the first, which is to turn off our cell phones. We also ask that when you come to the lectern, if you're representing an applicant, that you speak in one of the microphones here. If you have graphics, you could set them on the table. There is a camera at the top, and the meetings are televised so people can see at home what you're presenting. Okay, so we're going to start with DRB-09-57.
Actually, Jim, I'm sorry to interrupt. Tony requested that Brothers is okay if we can skip to number 2 first, and
Okay.
100 Matt's
Number 2, which is DRB-09-44 Radnor Chester Associates. This is a continuation, 100 Matson Ford Road in Radnor for a wall and 2 freestanding signs.
Thank you.
Welcome, Tony.
I went and took pictures with my cell phone, Tony, each time.
At least I know somebody visited.
Yeah.
No, we
Okay.
did.
I didn't see this very top place, though. You didn't do
Oh, I
that,
didn't
did
see the
you?
top.
A few.
Did you put that? Okay.
They didn't do that.
As you know, this is a continued matter, I think, from the October meeting. And first of all, I'd like to apologize for missing that one drive-by that we were going to
It's
do.
just me that you're
I know, Cindy, but I was sick for 3 weeks. I didn't know whether you knew that or not, but
I'm
take that out of the equation for the moment.
Sorry.
So Matt and I discussed, what would be the best way of handling this. So what we did was we had the sign company Compass do a mock-up of the sign on Gator board, and we actually were able to move it on different locations on the building, and hopefully you got the emails and you knew when we were moving it, and then did the third one as another test case. So this photo here shows it in the original location that we requested, which is in the 4th bay over. And this photo of the building shows the 3 locations that we placed it on the building. One over the right side of the front door, one in the middle, and then one at the far right. I would like to take this in two steps. I had a unanimous no from everybody on our side, including the tenant, about over the front door. Everybody thought it looked intrusive and that it looked more like a marquee, like you'd almost find in a movie theater, and it seemed unbalanced when you really looked at it up there. I think in photograph it was one thing, but in reality it might have been something else. So
Can you remind us, are they taking the whole building, or are there other tenants in the building?
150,000 feet out of the 200.
Okay, so there will be other tenants.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And we won't we can only have one sign anyhow, according to the ordinance. So I'd like to take that discussion off the table. So then it really comes back to whether we put it in the middle of the first floor or on the far right. I have not presented, and I will make this public, I have not presented the far right to the tenant. I wanted to get through this session first to decide which direction we would go. And the second part of this I would like to do is I'd like to get an approval on one of those locations, or both, or whatever the case may be, on that 15 feet up. But also like a motion that you would support moving it to the top of the building, where I've indicated here, if I decide to go to the zoning board for relief. Because I think I need your approval before I went to zoning anyhow.
I was just going to ask, do you need that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You don't need
I think I need your opinion on it.
We can't approve
opinion.
it, but we can
It's
say.
not approval, it's opinion.
Well, you would recommend it, I guess, would be the right phrase on that. But I think we need to take this in 2 steps tonight and to make it simple and clear. Because if I got denied at the zoning board, I still need a location for the sign that meets the zoning code requirements of the 15 feet.
Right.
So, and I still have that sign. If we need to move it again, I can have Compass move it again. In fact, Rob's here on another matter, and we just need to tell him if we need to move it again.
I actually had a question about the sign. I wondered, it's going to be these letters mounted on the black background, right?
Yes.
But I was wondering, totally not my position to do so, but had you at any time considered just mounting the letters and that logo?
The logo, we discussed this the last time, Cindy, with the logo, exceeds the height of that.
So it would break outside of that, but it would.
Yeah. It looked rather odd.
Oh, I was wondering if we were in a position. I remember
the letters
talking about that.
I think we limited the letters to 13 inches or something, or 14 inches.
It'd be
which was the
14 or
maximum.
16. Didn't we say, what is that
I can tell
strip?
you.
How wide is that? Yeah, I didn't know know if we,
The letters are 14 inches,
Okay.
okay,
and the entire logo extends, looks to be at least another 4 to 6 inches beyond it in two directions. And I believe we only had 2'4". We had 28 inches on the,
That's the spandrel.
that's the span,
Yeah.
okay. And what is the logo then?
well, you can see on this, the original
Yeah, I can,
application.
okay.
It extends upward and downward.
So would it look weird to break?
It just looked like, I mean, it was a worst-case scenario than what we were trying to avoid on the spandrel to begin with, like
Yeah.
we talked the last time. That's why they decided to put the background on it to match the rest of the, and it's not really black, it's that gunmetal 70% black, like all the entrance signs are.
Yes.
Tony, do you have extras of these
Yes, I do.
to give Tony and Michael?
I have one of this, which is
So just to recap, Tony said these are 4 proposed locations. They never put it on the top location. His people internally did not like it over the door to the far left, Tony.
yes. Oh,
The other
So he's
Tony.
kind of asking for the middle or the far right. And if he were to go before the zoning hearing board seeking relief from the 15-foot height, would we support up at the top there where he has the circle? But we never saw a mock-up there.
Would the one on the top be on the spandrel or hung below it?
no, on the spandrel.
On the spandrel.
But it looks like a bigger spandrel.
It isn't.
It isn't?
No. Well, you got it's two levels there, Jim. You've got the back piece, and then, remember,
You're seeing the
that
facade,
spandrel
yeah.
is like an eyebrow out
Okay,
front.
all right.
So that's the same.
So it'd be on the eyebrow, because you put it in the behind it, you'd never see it.
I guess the-
Oh, yeah, you can't see the line where it's going on.
Okay. So there's 2 issues. One is where we prefer it, and 2, if he wanted to go before the zoning hearing board, would we support the higher location? Or would we want to see another mock-up?
Well, I visited and I've looked at your photos. I agree with whoever it was in your group that said it didn't look so hot over there.
Well, I had a pushback from a number of locations on that one, so.
For me, it's really 6 of one, half dozen of another, if it's gonna go in the middle or on the right side.
Can you use your microphone, Michael? Thanks.
It's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, whether you go in the middle or on the right side, but I think over the door, I would agree, it doesn't look good. I have to say, though, that I still find it troublesome that it's bigger than the spandrel. But it's just me, you know. That has nothing to do with the code or anything. The fact that it goes over the spandrel, though, I think if you stuck that way up on the top, now it's hanging up above everything.
I think it looks scary up there.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I think it's a tough spot from a design standpoint, but I like the far right best. And you say, you think this will be a little more subtle, the background, than the way it looks on this? So it'll almost just be a reflective, I'd like it to blend in more with the spandrel, so mostly just the logo and the letters stand out. So I'm,
Well, was the mock-up what it is?
No, that was just on phone court.
That
Well,
was
what-
printed on foam core.
That part I understand, but I mean the colors and everything.
Pretty close.
but you're saying that background, it's like a gunmetal,
It's like the rest of the
metallic
signs
looking.
in the park. It's that 70% black, I think.
Yeah. So there's not it's not a big
More like
change.
charcoal.
It's not like all of a sudden the background would become a clear sheet or anything like
No.
that.
oh, but that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Did
I
that
mean,
have trees on it as an image or something?
No, it was reflecting the trees.
It was, because I moved and I
Wasn't
didn't see
that-
the trees.
wasn't that cool?
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
I thought at first they printed the tree
Yeah,
in
that's what
there.
I thought.
He printed the reflection that he did in the mock-up.
I'm good with either side. I don't care.
You-
Far right or middle?
Far right or middle, yeah, I mean, I'm good with either.
Yeah, I was,
I don't like
none of us talked, I don't think, unless you guys did. The middle didn't bother me as much as I think my knee-jerk reaction was the night you originally presented it. But the far right looked kind of interesting, too.
I like the far right best because you still have those strong horizontal lines. And yes, the last one gets chopped up by the sign, but It's still, you still have that continuous look at the building, the
And
design
back
of
to
the
your
building.
point, which at one point when we suggested the far left, you said, will people see it coming down Matson Ford Road?
It's a
You
little
clearly
tough.
see it on
See
the
it
far
go-
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's hard to see it anyway. What's really important is your sign at the road, which the first time I went, before the last hearing, was kind of covered by grasses, but when I went recently, they were removing the grasses. I mean, I thought it was hard to see the monument sign.
Understood.
That's why, I'm kind of still of the mind that the best place, in my opinion at least, would be in the middle, hung below the second band, because you would see it better from the
Well, that would
street.
still require a zoning
I know it would.
variance, so if we're gonna go for a variance, I'll go for the top of the building.
Oh. Okay, I don't like the top of the building.
If I'm going for some brain deadness, I might as well go all the way.
It really brings.
Tony, how about you?
So cool.
Well, I drove past the other day, and I've been away. And where it's located on the end of the building at the spandrel, that's where at present the mock-up is.
That's the last
It
spot.
was last week. I
That
don't
was
know
the
if it's
last
still there.
Well, it was supposed to come down tomorrow. It
I have
was
no
moved.
problem with that because it's very visible driving. I mean, it hit me right away. I wasn't looking for it, and I saw it immediately. I just have my own feelings about high signage, is that it's a vehicular road, and people don't look up at the top of buildings, that you see what's in your range of vision, which is usually about maybe 25 feet off the ground. I have no problem at all with the sign the way it was proposed on the edge, on the end of the building. What else are we looking at right now?
That's about it.
Well-
When you come up the hill, I didn't come at it the other way, I didn't go.
You
that-
didn't come up from Conshohocken side
Yeah.
up.
Can you see it on the end of the building?
It's tough
It's
because you've
tougher
got a
to
lot
see.
of trees at the entrance, and you almost passed it before you see it coming up the hill.
It's kind of tough anywhere on that building because of the grade and
Yeah.
you
You
go
Building's
also are
into
sunk,
down
yeah.
about
And it-
20 feet from the
Right.
road
Yeah,
in some
really nice
locations.
planting, but you have to know where you're going.
One of the reasons why we located it in the middle originally was because of the visibility coming up the road.
Coming up the hill, yeah.
But,
Well, how many people do you think actually come there?
who knows? I mean, this is.
Right.
But you have to think, this
It's
isn't
more of a
kind of like
marketing
you're looking
issue.
for a
Yeah,
restaurant.
you're not looking for
These people are
Starbucks.
destination bound. They're going to have their MapQuest or their something and
Yeah,
know
this is
exactly
more
where
of
they're
a
going.
marketing issue, I
Yeah.
think, because they are the large tenant,
Right.
and we'll be making.
Well, it's a
Radnor-
classy-looking sign. It doesn't offend me at all. It's a difficult building to apply signage. I think you've done the best with what you have.
So if I correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like folks would be willing to do the middle or the far right on the lower level. I don't know if we can support you going to the zoning hearing board, but that's not so much, well, A, we haven't seen it there. B, we get in this weird area, and the corporate center, went through this, or the financial center, setting precedent for somebody else, but that's why the zoning hearing board's there. So I think, so the 2 weeks, a month from now, somebody can come in and want to put a sign 65 feet in the air on the telephone building. That's been our party line, pretty much. I mean, do people agree with that?
Yeah, and by the way, the other day I drove past the financial center and we saw the sign up in the air, 60 feet, whatever it is, and it looks fantastic.
I like it. I
It's
know.
absolutely where it belongs. I can't say that would be what my opinion would be if it was up here on the top.
Right.
Because it's a
That
different.
that
whole
sign's
different
4
game.
times the size of this one.
Yeah, I know it is, but it's part of the architectural
That sign go up.
look.
I don't know, it was before we bought
I know.
the
Yeah.
center, so.
Yeah, but that looks like the architect drew it on when he did the facade of the building the first time, it really looks like it goes there.
You want to take this in 2 steps then, Jim? Take it with the,
So a motion to approve the sign at the lower 2 levels, and the other motion, well.
Yeah, well, I
can't
think,
speak for the
I'll make a
board.
motion that DRB 0944 for the Radnor Chester Associates at 100 Madison Ford Road be approved for the sign as presented in either the middle or the right-hand position at the choice of the applicant.
okay. All right with
I
that.
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
okay.
Now, what about the top? Should we discuss that? Would you like me to put it up there? We can come back next month and look for that one. I mean, it's,
If
If
you
you
wanna
want,
try it,
it's your
yeah.
timing and so forth, and you've
well,
been
they
very
can move it
patient.
tomorrow, so we'll put it up there for the next couple days, and by Monday we'll remove it, and then,
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just send Matt the email.
Then what do we do? Just say, go
Well, we've already proved this.
But via email, say, boy, I saw that, and I would recommend I would say to the zoning board,
Well, you
I
have to
like
come
it.
back.
To come back.
Well, we'll come back next month
Yeah, you need
with
to come
just a
back.
request for that motion and
change.
go from there,
You know, as a
You can
practical
either
matter,
accept
I
it
don't,
as it is, present it to the client.
Correct.
Because you said they hadn't seen it on the right side. If they want to see it on the top.
That'd be fine. We
come
can do
back.
that next month.
No, you've been great
Well,
about
I
this.
mean, they're not occupying until like August, September anyhow, so I mean, we
Okay.
have time, but it's not a question. I don't want to be July still talking about this, obviously.
You're safe.
telling you as a practical matter, I don't think the high sign is going to buy anything. On the other hand, it doesn't terribly offend me either.
Yeah. I don't think it's large enough. 14-inch letters at the height of that building. I think it's even going to get more minuscule, to be perfectly
What does
frank.
VWR stand? I know that you told us who
Their
they were.
name, I'm not sure.
To be honest with you,
What is,
and that's their logo,
what is it?
you almost want to see, Venturelette, Wilson, and
Yeah,
Reinhardt.
like a long
Because it
What are they
fits,
again? Someone asked me, I was like, oh,
scientific equipment. They're like distributors, manufacturers, and what have you. It's an international company. so.
right. No, it's great they're going in there. It's terrific.
Thank
For
you
us,
very much.
thank
I
you.
appreciate all your
All
help.
right, great.
Thank you for taking this out.
Okay, so we skipped Brothers, which is DRB-09-57, 157 Garrett Avenue. Is Brothers here?
his brother's here?
I am mad at them.
Matt emailed one. I'm not sure if this is the latest.
That's not very big, is it? Sorry, Matt's,
That's a new one.
Matt's printing me out some more
Okay.
copies of it. I wasn't sure if I would need to bring them forth with me or not.
I like it.
Zoom in on the cell phone?
Can you zoom in?
Yeah, let me just pan that out for you. Thank you.
Matt Frank and I were talking before this. We call this a continuation.
Thank you, sir.
You guys were not here last month.
Correct.
Matt and I were not here the month before. Did you ever come in?
No, this will be our first.
So it's really not a continuation.
It's our first meeting.
The sign went up.
The sign went up. We were not at that time. Thank you.
You didn't understand that you had to.
We didn't understand the
I understand.
process behind. We were also unfortunately,
Okay.
due to our fault, going through some changes of management, and then was not aware of the whole
Okay.
process.
All right.
So,
Okay, so why don't you explain to us what you all did, what your...
introduce yourself.
Yeah, and introduce yourself.
My name is Justin. I'm representing Brothers Bar. And I...
Are you with the owners or the person who's painted the sign?
I'm sorry, excuse me?
You're with the owners?
I'm with the owners.
Okay.
Correct.
Is it under the same ownership?
Same
Still
ownership
the
still
brothers?
as the original Brothers Bar. We purchased it 4 years ago on St. Patrick's Day is we opened. 4 years ago
I thought you
this
said you
coming St.
purchased
Patrick's
on
Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Okay.
So, and that's what, and it's the same owners since this recent ownership.
Okay.
We actually have no, on the building itself, the name is not present on the building anywhere.
There's no sign.
Yeah.
There's no sign. On the front, we have a small awnings that were there already, and one of them has some small block letters that has printed Brothers. We went into the process. We hired a girl that worked for us as a Villanova student and tried to get her. We tried to see if we could swing some art credit or something for the school as a community service, and we had her paint this, and so she painted that up. And then we were notified by Matt that we had kind of crossed into something that we were not aware of. We started to go through a process, and then the person that was with us let us down on that, and that's where I took over this process and worked with Matt to try and get it through. And it's to my own fault as well, was not aware that I was not notified of the board meetings. I didn't realize I'd have to come and look at the agenda, realize I was on it, so I do apologize for not attending the last meeting. But gracefully enough, thank you, we're allowed to come back, and so here we are, and this is what we're trying to have approved
Okay.
in order to keep it, because we feel it's not gaudy, it's not obscene, it brings a nice picture. It just kind of says, if someone's driving by, they know what we are, the name of the restaurant. We're not trying to advertise it, but I understand, I guess it's qualified as an advertisement because of the name of the building. But I just want to see what we can do in this process to allow this to remain.
Just out of curiosity, why do you guys not have a sign like over the door or anything?
To be honest with you, I'm not quite sure.
Just never did it.
It just never was in the process. We have that small, I have a picture as well, obviously we're not going to be able to see it that well, on the awning on the front, maybe 12 inches by 4 inches, and it just says Brothers across the front vestibule. And that's the only signage, other than some of the neon signs that represent the beer companies that we
Right.
sell inside the facility.
The previous owner, or the previous operation, did they have a sign?
I do not believe
Can't
so.
remember
I
the
was
name.
not around.
I remember the name, but I just can't
It
remember.
was the Brick
Yeah.
Bar, and then I believe it was JB Garrett's as well in between.
And question for you, is there still a mural across the street on that other
On the
establishment?
On the other
Is there-
establishment across
yeah.
the street, the whole,
But they have no
They have a
the
whole
whole
wall.
wall is muraled.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I like the mural, and I don't know what our,
There's the
what we can do about
Italian
that.
place,
But you were asking me, and apparently no one really,
No, we're
I'm
listening.
just giving you my personal opinion.
Okay.
I would just get rid of the Brothers Spano and make a conventional wall sign that meets our criteria in the ordinance.
And
that
by
says-
conventional
then-
wall sign, do
I
you mind
mean,
elaborating on
in,
that?
in our ordinance, it says no signs can be painted on the walls. So you
Okay.
have to have a sign that's attached to your wall, and we have regulations about that too, like.
Is that
how's
not a little bit more offensive to mount something onto and take away the beautiful, just simplistic nature of the wall
Well,
itself?
there are a couple issues here. I'm sorry, Cindy. First of all, the Brothers, those letters must be 3 feet high. The B,
The B? Actually, to be honest with you, I think it's scaled to 2 feet. The whole wall, the whole mural itself is 8
8
feet.
feet,
And
right.
the distance between the bottom line and that gentleman's feet
yep.
looks to me to be greater than half.
Wait.
So,
I guess to be fair, what we should tell you is that in the past, we haven't approved anybody's sign that's with letters larger than 16 or 14
Well, in Garrett
inches.
Hill, it'd be 14 inches.
Yeah, 14 inches where you are. So even if, yes, it looks nice, it's just, this is the ordinance, and we make everybody, comply to it with it unless they're going to go on to
now, is
zoning.
that signage that you're referring to, is that related more to extra information or the name of the establishment itself?
There's different criteria for a suspended sign, for a wall sign, for what's called a monument sign, like out in front of the corporate center we just saw, which is a ground sign.
Okay.
But
But-
your answer is it's the name of the establishment that we're
Yeah,
saying.
pretty much. And I think, I don't know what other folks think, I would concur with Cindy, but I don't know why you all wouldn't put a sign over the entrance that says Brother Spano, that meets all the criteria of the code, and it's all in there, and you could do a really nice sign there.
Now, they
And
have
still
two-
do your,
They front on 2 streets.
We-
So-
well, actually, you have the right to do two, you're
Yeah,
right.
you can do 2. You can do one on Conestoga Road and then
And Garrett.
on
Right.
Garrett, have a more prominent sign,
I
but still.
believe the issue with the front of the building for us, it is almost all windows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also the awnings, in order to shelter the sidewalk from the rain for the people that might be walking down the sidewalk. There is not much room on the front of the building.
We don't have pictures of it, and I can't remember
And
honestly.
I could,
I know that, I've been there a
Well, how
number
did,
of times, yeah.
when it was the Brick Bar, what did they, I don't remember what they
I
had.
don't remember what they had.
This is a blank side right now.
correct, it's just a full blank wall.
I have to say that I think this is a very cool idea. I agree, though, that the sign letters should be, a much smaller font.
But I could
I
e-
think the idea of the sign, if you will, of the whole mural
I do
idea
too.
is very cool, and I
Thank
would
you.
support a variance if it needed it. But I would say also that I think Brothers Spano is way bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah, and I also think, if we allow you to paint Brothers Spano on the side of the wall, then I own a building in Wayne, I want to paint dentist in huge letters. Somewhere, somebody's going to come to us and go, well, you let them paint on the wall. So we have these
Mattress giant.
guidelines.
Right.
This is his pet peeve, his mattress giant. I think he looks out his window and sees it all. But, so we have to kind of, try to.
I would
stick
have
with
no
the guidelines.
issue bringing down, is it Brothers in general that you have the problem? I mean, I could bring down the size of the B and the size of the T and the H and bring them to within that, if it's 14 or 16 inches, I could measure it and get some measurements. That's no problem at all. I could do that within 15 minutes.
Reduce the.
I would
sign
tend to just shrink, just scale the whole thing down, because even if it was half as big as it is right now, you're still going to read it very clearly.
Right. Well, the intention originally was just to fill the space of the wall.
It's really nicely done.
It wasn't panned out to be obnoxiously big. It was in
Right.
order to, and I've actually had a lot
Well,
of
add a couple more
compliments.
people at the bar, it's more business.
Right.
Yeah.
Business is always good, especially in tough times, right?
But to be honest, obnoxiously big, and I think we would agree, it looks good, it is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I have 3 things. Number 1, it's a painted sign, and I think he's allowed 50 square feet, and this is like 250 square feet. So that's a denial. Number two, I like super graphics. I think it's attractively done, but I think there could be a point where we might recommend it. But at the same time, I think the Brothers Spano, if that is the sign part of it, and the people are the super graphic, then the Brothers Spano has to be reduced to the 50 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would agree with
Is
that.
that fair?
The Brothers Spano is the sign.
Yeah.
The other part is
Right.
artwork on a building that's not a sign.
Yeah, it's a super graphic, and I kind of think it's fun. And
Otherwise, all those.
I don't know how much
murals in
latitude we
Philadelphia-
have as a board because it's a painted sign on a wall, but I think painting the people on the wall is art. But I think the Brothers Spano has to conform to a sign, and I think that's what we can approve.
Okay, so I think
What do you think?
Yeah.
you've heard from three people the same thing.
I have a question about the process that went through. This, you didn't know that you had to come through this whole board
I was not
process.
aware, no.
Were you informed partway through the painting of it that it had to go through the board?
The first instance that we realized was a citation.
So you got a citation and then you still elected to complete it?
Well, no, we had started the communication between Matt and the gentleman that was at the time in charge of having it done. We had left it, the only thing that was not done on it, I believe, was like the rest of the R and the S on the tail end of it when we had realized that there was an issue. And then we actually had more people come in and tell us, you know, how come it was maybe a week or two went by. It was like, why didn't you finish it? So at that time, the girl that we had do it, she finished it,
Who were the people that came by?
just patrons.
Patrons.
So our first official announcement that we knew of it was, I believe, from the township via Matt.
And Matt, when did that come through?
It's about in August.
Okay, so the first citation was August.
Correct.
It wasn't finished. Patrons recommended you finish it. You did finish it. You missed a couple meetings and you just came in. I personally feel like you're asking me to retroactively approve something, like I have a gun in my head now, because, well, it's up, it's done, you know, look, it looks nice. Because what that's going to do is that's going to create a situation where other people are going to say, oh, well, just finish it. If it looks good, you stand a good chance of getting it approved.
Well, Jim, can I, before you go any further with this, is it my understanding that you're treating the silhouettes as not a sign?
Right.
Well, I don't know if Matt's saying that, but
Well,
sounds like
Sounds like
Tony's
a
saying
couple of
that.
us felt
I
that
just
way.
want to
I
be,
think we could look past the artwork.
Well,
But
I
I
mean-
think the Brothers Spano can't be painted on the wall and should be applied letters in some way, either pinned on letters,
All right. Well,
and
I
they
wanna-
should fall within the 50 square feet.
I just want to
Then we
be,
can approve.
with the definition of sign, though, can I read it real quick?
Sure.
And interpret it? Any figure or any writing figure representation, logo, emblem, word or street clock and temperature announcement, which shall include any announcement, declaration, display, illustration, name, identification, description, or insignia which is used to advertise or promote the interest of any person or firm. So I just want to be clear, in the zoning, it says illustration, and we're treating this not as an illustration then, because that was my interpretation. If you say differently, then now's the time.
Well, I guess that raises a very hairy question, doesn't it? Because when you go down to Philadelphia and you see the blank sides of all these buildings that have been
The
so
murals,
beautifully
right.
painted, that's considered artwork, and I tend to agree with that.
It is, but is that associated with the building? So is there, if you see people on a building, like,
a lot
whatever
of
they're
those are
doing,
historic.
is there an activity occurring at that same building that's on that mural?
Right.
And does that matter?
Well,
mean-
yeah, it does. I mean, if it's in the
Yeah.
zoning code, it
Because this
does.
one's advertising the use of the building, that one's, showing the history of the,
And the sign across the street, just for clarity, was pre-design review board painted on there.
right.
The wild one.
Before, yeah, that's grandfathered in.
It's kind of an awkward situation because I personally like, and I think of it as a mural. We don't have a definition for a mural. We have this, the wording in the sign, the definition of sign that includes illustration. But I like the mural aspect of it, and but I don't know if that's appropriate to approve that because it opens a can of worms for us as we go down the road.
That's right.
I mean, I would recommend abstaining from any ruling on it, and then see what happens at zoning. And if zoning says, yeah, go ahead and do it, they bring it back to us, and then we take a look at it. But
Well, I think Brothers is looking for either you like it or you don't, and then they're going to go to the zoning hearing.
Well,
board.
if you have to go to zoning, my own personal take on it would be, I like the mural. I think it handles an otherwise blank, uninteresting facade in an artistic manner, and I would not consider that personally to be part of the sign. And I do think that the sign part is the Brothers Spano, and I think that, you know, you should reduce that so that it conforms to the code with I would suggest a pin-mounted letter, and maybe add a figure or two to the artwork in order to reach the sign, if you will, with the graphics. And if you need a variance to do that because of the word illustration, then, you know, I would say, hey, I think they deserve the variance for that, if the sign portion meets the code.
Because it enhances. the
Okay, well,
building.
then I
That's just one.
that's
out of-
fine, but let's come up with a number then with the inches for the Brothers Spano, okay?
Okay. And question, pin letter, you mean individual letters attached
Oh,
to the
yeah,
wall?
I think that would be very elegant there with the graphic.
Yeah.
To do it in a box sign you know, that would
No, I
look.
wouldn't do a box sign. I would do a wood painted sign that was simple, just you know, one color too, I mean.
You would?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I would do.
No,
I'd
I
sit down
agree with
my
Michael.
pencil. I like the pin, no, I like that better.
Yeah, if it's already painted on the wall, pin-mounted letters.
You
Pin
could do the
letters
same
would look
font
good.
in a pin letter, it would
It
look
would look
great.
great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
shrink it up.
So,
And I think we could approve it.
We could approve a sign like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
well,
have to
not
look
tonight,
at-
obviously,
No,
but.
we have to see it, but the
So,
letter size.
and Matt, you may abstain, but it sounds like what I'm hearing is if we had a motion to support the illustrative part of the sign, i.e. the people, that the Brothers Spano be less than 14 inches in height, and that those letters be pin-mounted, and the Brothers Spano be less than 50 square feet, we might,
Well, let's talk about the actual height of the sign, all right? I mean, the letters. Because here, there are 3 letters that have kind of
right.
an offshoot, and then there's every other letter. So my own sensibilities tell me that if the main body of the letters it was in the 12 to 14 inch range,
The main.
the main body, and then the spikes were, you know,
The
16,
BT&H.
18 inches, it wouldn't
Well,
bother
I'd
me.
say 18. Right, okay.
May I ask if you guys be willing to open up to public opinion?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Betty Lou Norsini, owner of Norsini's Auto Services, 1 block away from Brothers. I don't know how familiar any of you are with Garrett Hill, but I can tell you that this is the first improvement of any kind on any building in Garrett Hill for a very long time. For the first 2 weeks after this was done, there was a lot of discussion throughout the business district. Very impressive job. It's beautifully done. The picture you're looking at right now really doesn't do it justice. If you saw it in purple, it's got some blue pinstriping around the lettering. It's very, very well done. Very good taste. I was surprised to find out that would be considered a sign because it's painted on a building. It's not attached to a building, therefore it's actually safer when you think of public going up and down that street, which is really narrow sidewalk and everything else. I understand now, I've already gone in and reviewed everything that I know that you're considering. I would respectfully request that you take just a moment and think about the possibility that maybe the signing ordinance is maybe a little outdated for today. And look at that again, because I don't think it's out of scale with anything. That used to be, and no offense to Brothers at all, that used to be a dirty, red, mold-growing wall. Okay, it's clean, it's neat, it's sharp, and like I said, it's very tasteful. I know that throughout the business district, we're going to have a lot of disappointment if they're made to change it. And this simple wall and what was done with it has actually gotten the business district talking about what they want to do to improve what their facades look like. And I can assure you that the events that they've had to go through in the past 3 months, no one in my area is going to be putting something up and then getting approval later, just because of all the steps now that they have to go through and the time and the expense. So a lot of people are now aware of things that they weren't aware of before. I'm pretty sure they're going to go through all the right steps. But just before you make a motion and make a final decision on it, I would really, really like for you to consider possibly approving this. I know that it's a little out of what you're normally faced with.
I think we
just
can,
think if you
I don't
see it-
quarrel with that, but I think we can approve what we can approve. I have no problem with the artwork. It's a paint, that's something else. But if you take the 50 square feet of the Brothers Spano and make that into an applied sign of some kind, then we can approve it.
Right,
Agreed?
and we're not able to give variances. We don't have the power to give a
No,
variance.
I know you can't give approval, but it would just be nice to have a positive opinion towards something that really had
We
a
can't-
positive effect in my
We
business
can't
district.
recommend anything that is in conflict with the ordinance. The ordinance says you can't have painted signs on buildings, and that's a painted sign. If you make it an applied sign, you get a 50 square foot piece of wood and paint Brothers Spano on it, that's fine.
The problem is,
That's how simple it is.
It's impossible to legislate aesthetics. The
I
sign-
know.
The sign code is what it is.
Right.
If Michelangelo walked into the township tomorrow and wanted to paint 4-foot letters on top of some building in downtown Wayne, we would disapprove it.
Right.
It has nothing to do,
So I guess the original disturbance that I'm dealing with is if they had chosen to paint the wall a bright lime neon green with purple polka dots, we wouldn't be here tonight.
Would we?
We're not
No,
quarreling with it.
You know
We're
what
just
I mean?
telling you
So-
that you gotta have a 50 square foot applied sign of some kind, or pin letters
see,
that fit with the ordinance, and then we can approve it.
no, I understand that, and I'm struggling with
No,
that.
I don't
as-
think- I don't
No,
think
I
so.
do, but I'm struggling with that as well, because a sign that is bolted to a building at 50 square feet is, and can become dangerous if it becomes loose or falls from the building, and that can't.
well, let's just, so you realize, we're not far on one end of the spectrum and you're far on some other end. We're in the middle. Because the
Okay.
sign ordinance says you can't paint a sign on a building, period.
It just says
We're
no.
allowing,
I mean, I'm looking
we
at
are
it.
recommending that you be allowed to do that.
That would open a
Okay.
can of
The
worms
sign
that would be
ordinance
so
says you
big
cannot
that we
exceed-
couldn't deal with it.
50 square feet.
Because then
and
everybody
Matt
would-
is saying that illustrations are part of that 50 square feet. We are not disapproving that. We are recommending that.
Okay,
So
great.
we're very much in the middle or more towards your side, if you just understand that.
Well, thank you.
So, and we appreciate your comments
It's
and
nice of you to
support.
come.
But,
Thank you.
but again, if, somebody else comes in 2 months from now and they says, well, Brothers was allowed 28-inch letters, why can't
Well-
we do it?
And
theirs
painted
looks
sign
like-
on a wall.
And theirs is terrible.
Right.
We're in a bad position. And that's why the ordinance is the way it is.
Yeah.
And I always use the analogy, and these people are tired of hearing it. Wayne, Radnor, Garrett Hill, Wayne, St.
Right.
David's, et cetera, when this ordinance was put into effect 20 years ago, look at downtown Wayne particularly, and even Garrett Hill, and the difference between where my office is in Bryn Mawr and Lower Marion. And
Mattress
just
giant.
what's happened downtown Wayne because of this ordinance. Not only signage, but planters, facades, outdoor dining. It looks 100 times better than any township on the main line. It really does. And a lot, I'm not saying it's all because of this ordinance, a lot is because we kind of legislated, to this degree.
Okay.
And that's a good thing for the township, and it's a good thing for business. And, we understand there's some extenuating circumstances with what's happened.
And the placement of the building itself, because as you drive down Conestoga Road, Garrett Avenue is extremely narrow. So you are past that intersection pretty quickly.
Right.
And without something of that size, it would be difficult to see.
Well, that's why the mural is so nice, and we haven't, and
Yes.
we're saying, I think most of us are saying we like the mural.
And
Just
we can
have to
look
get-
past that, just
we're-
put
we're-
an
yeah,
applied-
We're looking at the sign separately, and if you
Just put a
could get
separate
those
sign up.
pin-mounted letters that's in the same typeface, but just bring them down so that, so that it doesn't give you an unfair advantage
Okay,
compared to the other merchants in Radnor Township who
And-
have to comply with that,
And we don't have your other facade, and you mentioned it was a hard place to put a sign, But for example, the sign code now allows perpendicular signs off of facades that you're beginning to see in Wayne. So I'm thinking coming down Conestoga, that's why it's always surprising to me that you all don't have a sign. Because Brick Bar used to have, now that I'm kind of remembering, they had letters, they had pin-mounted letters
Right,
on
gold
the
on red.
Conestoga, gold on the.
On the red brick.
And you clearly saw them. And I'm not saying this is not a good idea too, but there's other options for you, because as Cindy says, you're on two corners, you're allowed to have two signs.
You could do a perpendicular sign at the
On
far,
Conestoga.
at the east corner of your building on Conestoga.
Have
don't know.
any of you guys ever been there?
Yeah, a million times.
Thank you for
I've
allowing
been
me
there
to
many
speak.
times.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The sidewalk, to do
Many
a
times.
perpendicular, the sidewalk is,
Um,
you can't even fit two people walking
Right.
next to
I'm
each other on
thinking
that.
at the
No,
far
it hangs
end of your
off your
building.
building, high up.
Well,
higher up.
that's, I
Yeah.
think his building's
So
a
it-
little short for a perpendicular sign. though.
Is it?
Is it,
Sorry, Matt.
could they do that?
No, it's all right. You have to be careful. It's only allowed
Oh,
in the
I'm sorry.
WBOD.
Oh, okay, forget it, you're not in the Wayne business.
Mr.
Not in the
Chairman,
blessed area.
as one of the founders of this board, I think if you permit a painted sign, we will open up a can of worms that we'll never be able to close.
They can't permit it. They can
We
give
cannot
it-
permit it
It's
because
prohibited, it's under the list of prohibited
it'll set a
signs, so-
precedent
They
that
can-
will,
they can-
everybody will want graffiti signs all over
What
town.
they're looking for is,
Can't do it.
is when they go to the zoning hearing board, which, assuming they want to keep this on there, which they will have to do.
Right.
That, yes, ZHB, we went to DRB, these were their comments, they liked it, and these are the reasons why. That'll be all in their testimony, okay? This will help their case.
Right.
Versus a denial completely, okay? So they're not asking for approval of this, it's
Right.
just, these
Okay.
are the reasons why they liked it.
But I think we have to unilaterally deny a painted sign.
Correct, you have to,
Absolutely.
But you-
Well,
yeah.
can I make this proposition
And if
then?
the zoning appeals board grants it, I think it's going to just create a huge problem for the township that I don't want to deal with.
All right, can I suggest this, because we can talk about this all night, but can I break up this application into maybe one or two different motions so we can get some clarity on this thing? I move that DRB 0957 for the brothers at 157 Garrett Hill, graphic as shown in the presentation, without any lettering, the graphic on the wall be deemed by this board not to be a sign, but to be part of an artwork expression on the side of the building, and therefore in compliance with the sign ordinance. That's my motion.
I like that.
Second?
I second that.
I would second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
Well, that's fine.
No, he's good.
I'm okay with that.
Second
Okay.
motion?
I would make a second motion that the Brothers Spano letters on that sign, which are painted on the wall, are not in conformance and should not be approved by this board because they're not in conformance with the sign ordinance.
And do you recommend something?
I will on the next one.
Oh,
Okay, so do we need a second on that?
okay, we're going three motions.
agree with
All right,
that.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I make a motion that Brother Spano consider putting pin-mounted letters or other letters which they would return with on the wall where the main body of the letters not exceed 14 inches and the tallest extension of the H, the T, or the B not exceed 18 inches as a solution to the sign, not exceeding 50 square feet as measured in a rectangle.
Second?
Is there a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to item number 3, which is DRB-09-55 Matador at 110 North Wayne Avenue. This is a continuation as well. Mr. Mercury, welcome.
Good evening, good evening. Don Mercury Sign and Awning. Representing Matt Pressler and Anna Chamis. They were supposed to be here. I don't, they could be here any minute, but
Would you want to go out of order?
But I think we had a change, and I think this is something that will fall in line with what I think the Design and Review Board and past boards might like.
I think I have a couple. Thank you. Why do you think that?
Well, it's a routed sign box and face. And it's It's the same family of signs I've done for the Stratford Shopping Center.
How about just one simple question? How high is the sign?
Well, it's,
Is it more
it's
than
a,
15 feet?
pardon me?
Is it more than 15 feet?
It's 15 feet long and 30 inches high.
No, from the sidewalk, Don.
How high?
Come on, Don.
Oh, it's within 15 feet, within
Exactly
15
where
feet, the
other
top.
sign is, the
Yeah.
tree house, it's in the same spot.
Yeah, it looks like it's about,
Yeah, within, I mean, it was, the sign that was there before was approved,
right,
and this one, that was, you know,
right.
this one's just going right over top of it. I think, Anthony, maybe you didn't see the one before.
Well, I guess my question is the top of the sign 15 feet off the grade by the entrance door?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Tom, you say routed high-density foam? Is that what it is?
No, this is,
Or wood?
well, that's why I'm putting the pictures up, because as an example, Manella's Diner. Manella's Diner is a routed aluminum sign
Oh,
You have that one? Oh, yeah, there you go.
that the body of it is .080 aluminum that we route out in the shop, and then behind it we put plexiglass. You know, to give it that look during the day. During the day, what it's going to look like is over here. Well, no, this is nighttime. I wasn't able to create a nighttime effect, but at nighttime you're going to be seeing you know, white lettering except for the logo, which is the M. And what we're going to use is on the acrylic. This is the same type of sign as COSI also, and I'll get into that.
Explain to me how the sign is going to go from black to white and from yellow to black.
Well, COSI, which I put up, is, I'm going to show you the material right now. On the route, first of all, the base is a routed .080 aluminum that we will powder coat it, automotive finish paint, and then behind it is an acrylic. And on the acrylic, we're going to use a day-night, what we call day-night perforated vinyl. Now, this is a perforated vinyl, and I'll bring it up there. It can come in any color. During the day, it is whatever color we make it, like red. At nighttime,
What color are you proposing?
well, we're proposing during the day, the one on the left, that you see
proposing
right
yellow.
here.
Black with a red M, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this one right here. This one right here will be during the day. And this is the aluminum. That's an aluminum with a red vinyl. And then at nighttime, it'll look like that over there. And I have one more picture. You'll get the.
Well, how do you do that?
So is there light behind it? Is it a box with light within it?
Yeah,
or
look
what's
at the
it?
Manellas, look at the Manellas monument sign.
I know, but that's
The
like a
letters are
box. I'm trying-
perforated, so the
I
light will
think
come
that's what
through
he's
them and
saying.
turn the black
But Don, just,
into
yeah.
white.
You can
think
stop
people
putting
are having a
pictures
hard
up. I got the picture here.
The yellow at night is clearly opaque,
Right,
so it's not really black, but it's dark, dark, dark yellow. If I
right.
walk by that sidewalk at night,
At nighttime, you'll see white.
No,
no, I'm talking about the
The
rectangle
background.
of the sign, the background.
The background will be yellow. Yellow.
Right,
so at night it's going to look yellow. too.
Yeah, it'll look yellow.
but it's going to be opaque yellow.
It'll be opaque.
very dark
It'll be
at
opaque.
night, and we will just see the light shining the same way you would see if you drove past Manella's Diner.
Right.
And Manella's is sort of green or something, right?
It is like a stucco finish over the aluminum.
Well, I thought it was kind of a greenish something or other, but anyway, okay. All right, and I think what Tony's asking is, you're saying you can actually make the acrylic with that product black during the day and white at night?
Well, this right here is a cellar which I just did down in Jersey, and it's black during the day, and I'll bring it up, if you want me to, I'll bring it up. It's black during the day. Again, it's black.
Yeah.
But you'll see it's perforated, so
Right.
the light will shine through and it'll be white, and that's what it looks like at nighttime, the cellar.
Okay,
It's really, and the same thing has been done and was approved with COSI when they came in. I installed those signs, but it's the
Cozy
same.
looks like pinned-on letters.
Oh, no, this is just an
hand
example of the
sign.
acrylic from black during the day to white at night.
He's talking about the cellar.
I'm looking
You're
at
jumping
Cozy.
around, but
Yeah,
okay.
you're talking about the cellar. Cozy looks like pinned on,
Look at the
like
cellar.
channel lettering, right?
Hi, Anna, how
Sorry.
are you?
Is Cozy channel lettering?
Well, yeah, Cozy's is channel lettering, but again, it has that film of green and orange. So during the day, it's green and orange. At nighttime, it's white.
We just don't have a night photo, but Tony, if you look at the cellar photo, top and bottom, it is
Okay.
kind of green during the day, and, okay,
That's
I
fine.
believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this
That's all
stuff
right, yeah.
before.
Okay,
Okay.
That's not an issue.
Again, that can be green, could be red,
okay.
but when the light shines through the perforated open, it'll become white.
Now, let me ask you this, and I'm sorry to interject if other people have things, but Spanish Mexican tapas tequila, that is not illuminated.
That is routed, it will route it right through, just like Manila's Diner, will route it right through all those little, curves and stuff
Right.
like that. That will be routed, and then the plexi will be behind it.
But it's not illuminated.
It will be illuminated, just like you see over here.
It can't be illuminated at night, correct?
The logo, or the lettering?
Tequila and all that biz?
Yeah,
Spanish.
only the background cannot be. The logo, the letters,
Oh, okay,
The
I'm sorry.
description can be
Okay,
on there.
okay, I'm
description
sorry.
can,
Okay.
yes.
All right, okay. All right.
Okay, so to me, we're kind of back where we were the last time you presented, and I just think the sign, this type of sign is inconsistent with that part of Wayne. I went up and down North Wayne Avenue, north of Lancaster Avenue, and the couple of blocks east and west, and we just don't have new signs that are like light boxes like this. There's nothing else on North Wayne. Bravo has individual letters that just say Bravo. They're lit from behind, so there's a halo effect at night. It's not a light box look. It
This
doesn't
whole
look.
thing's not gonna be lit up, though.
Pardon me? You
Not
just
gonna be a
said
whole
it's
lit
gonna
up.
be, it's gonna be lit at night, so we see Matador shining through, right?
The letters of Matador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
letters
I don't
can't-
think it's
The
consistent.
whole
letters-
box won't light.
letters
Before
have to
we
shine.
even get too much further in color, can we saw another sign,
This one, I got it with this.
Well, before we
I
came,
would like to see it next to
There you go.
this, is what I'm saying, that one.
Yeah.
That's the one you
Well, no,
approved.
this
Can
one,
you
you
put that
love
up
this.
there?
You
I
like
think
the-
this looks
That's the one you
nicer.
approved.
We couldn't put it
Can
on
we see
the,
that next to this, so that we get a comparison right next to it?
Copy over? No, the previous one.
But, no, I mean, for the people that are watching on the monitors.
what does he want, the copy of the old one?
Yeah.
Here, do you want to borrow mine? Do you have
Sure.
it? Here you go.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Oh, Tom had one.
And that sign was raised plastic letters, is that?
well,
correct?
they were channel letters. They were channel letters. We came up here with channel letters, and the question came up on the box sign, what we call the sign underneath it. The reason why we had to come back was to show you and Matt and everybody what we were doing. Now, they wanted to put all this secondary copy on the awnings, but we were told that no secondary copy on the awnings. That presented a problem to Matt and Anna, where that was very important to them. So what they said was, well, let's rethink this. Instead of doing channel letters, which are very blatant, we said, well, maybe the board will like this, which is, history, starting from when Anthony he likes routed signs with and I showed you the example of Stratford Shopping Center, Long and Foster, Manila's.
None of those are in this sensitive area of Wayne, though. Those are all commercial signs that are in another, like strip mall, shopping centers, strip mall. This part of Wayne has historic buildings that I just, I said it the
Fresh
last
Airs,
time.
Is
and-
that what that's called at the corner? That has an
Which one?
illuminated Fresh Airs, is that what it's called?
Fresh air, yeah, and they do that whole facade there, and they have a different architectural thing going, so it works. One color shining through, that black plastic goes all the way across both signs. And I did go down
We
up
had-
and look at all of them.
We had multiple
Yeah.
colors shining through on this sign, and
I know, and I was really sorry with myself for saying
bigger
yes, because I just
channel,
didn't,
channel letters, similar to Bravo. This is a much more, I think, classy looking sign. It's much less
More
light
subtle.
coming through.
It's very subtle at nighttime.
It's actually, it's a very
How
quieter
far
sign.
would the
well, I'll
box,
listen to what everybody else has to say about it.
Tom, how far would the box project?
Probably about 8 inches.
There's a Fresh Airs is flush.
You know what my first reaction was?
be less out than
Before you
Bravo's
started
letters.
to explain to me what you were proposing in terms of its physical makeup, when I looked at both of these pictures here, I said, gee, I like this one. And I was thinking you were gonna say it's a carved sign with a black background and painted letters.
That's what I thought initially.
And I thought, gee, this is great.
Well, it's at nighttime. That's what it looks like at
No,
nighttime.
Stop.
Okay.
What I saw in my mind on this piece of paper, I liked, was my first impression. Okay, I just for what it's worth.
No,
And
I
I
felt
thought
the
what I
same
was
way.
looking at was a carved sign.
Then I
with a
looked at
black-
this, and I thought, this doesn't go.
You know, with like a, maybe the letters are raised, kind of a sign, and the background is recessed and it's painted out black. I think that would look very handsome, just for what it's worth. I know it's not what you put on the table, but I don't know whether you thought about a sign like that.
This is what you
No, I
want.
wanted an illuminated sign,
Okay.
similar to what was approved for MIMS and Vivo, and similar to Bravo, but not as obnoxious as Bravo. A
Okay.
little classier and cleaner looking. And I couldn't have the tapas and Spanish Mexican on the awnings. I wasn't allowed. So I had to incorporate in the sign. I didn't want to do a cheap plastic raceway like a Korean restaurant look. So I wanted to go a routed sign, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's a nicer look. The look during the day is much quieter than it was. The look during the night is clean and I think professional. And now that going back around town, there's at least 15 restaurants that have descriptions on the awnings and logos on the awnings, which I told I wasn't allowed to do. So if I knew that beforehand, I probably would have brought those pictures in and said, look, they have it, but I
Well,
didn't.
we didn't approve it, for instance.
Well, it's there. So.
I
It's
know,
there
I'm
all-
just curious, like,
Au Petit's has candy chocolate cakes.
that's right, I saw that. They've
The
been there for
deli
like
has
20
catering and deli meats.
So many.
The one down the street, Cozy, has sandwiches, breakfast, pizza, catering.
Lunch, dinner.
I wasn't on the
So
board during those times,
there's
but
at
I,
least 15. I brought a CD with me. I can put the CD in if you want it and look at all 15 signs.
Well,
There's,
it wasn't on their application as far as we know.
I know, I was trying to play, I'm trying to play by the rules
and the
here.
thing
and
is,
it's
as we
just-
go forward, then we have to follow the ordinance, like, Au Petit Delice has been there probably 20 years. So, I mean, I certainly wasn't.
I don't have a problem with those signs. I think it's a great looking sign.
I do too, it's just that
I
now
don't
we have an
understand the ordinance
ordinance
of
that
not
says
being able
no.
to do that, so that's why I didn't argue that. I'm not gonna spend $1,500 to argue a stupid point like that, so I figured I'll just change the sign, I'll play by your rules. I'll make
we
it look
think-
nicey, make it look nice and classy, and that's what we did. If I think Nectar is a real classy sign, and it's not really bright at all. If you drive by Nectar, it's not a glaring white neon coming through there.
Susanna Few is that type of sign, the other Chinese restaurant across the street from the church?
Do you understand the concept of the sign, or? you
Oh,
seem
sure,
like-
we understand
You
it
seem like it's like a light box, like it's a big obnoxious light box, and I don't understand. To me, it's less
not lit
obnoxious
up.
than what's
The box
before.
is not lit up. It's like, this is painted, that's it.
We understand that. We've
Okay,
seen,
all
we've
right.
seen a
You
ton of
understand.
these signs, believe me.
Okay.
I think what the board's reacting to, I mean, my own personal opinion is, this sign meets the ordinance, and whether we like it aesthetically or not is what we're talking about. But it does meet the ordinance, in my opinion.
Well, you didn't like the whole Gothic and the
I
bull
like this
sword
one
thing,
better
so I
than
said,
the-
okay,
I
well,
like
let me
this
just
one
tone
better
it
than the
down, you know what I mean? I
But the first
reordered all
one
the
met the
print,
ordinance,
all the
which is
menu,
why-
all the business cards,
least I
I
voted to
reordered
approve.
all that stuff, so I canceled that. I
But we
lost
didn't
money
tell
on
you to
that.
change your logo, you did that
I
on
know,
your
but I
own.
wanted to come in and just do a better, cleaner sign,
I think
so.
what we're reacting to, at least what I react to, is the strong color, which is, you know, it's different than what's downtown along the way, so.
The jeweler is green.
Saffron color, saffron.
Yeah, this
Is
is
it
a
that
little bit.
color right there,
Like
right?
Spanish food uses
Yeah.
saffron
Yeah,
yellow.
it's more of a, like a ground mustard color, saffron, more of a amber gold than a yellow gold.
That doesn't bother me.
So, and it's not,
Yeah, we don't want to break gold. It's
No,
not.
saffron yellow, it's not,
Yeah.
it's Spanish.
Uh-huh, yeah.
in the nighttime, it'll shine through a
It's an
different
aesthetic
color, and it's just,
judgment, and it doesn't bother you at all,
At
so.
night, that-
How much would it
disappears.
cost to curve the ends of the sign? Because I see all these nice arches and those,
it's above
round
all four
ornaments.
corners.
the
You mean?
ends, how much more would it cost to curve the?
To make an oval box, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, that sign is about $6,000, and to honestly curve it, you have to add 25-30%.
Wow.
Okay.
It
To
is
make
a
radius
big,
corners?
big difference. Big,
just do
a lot
radius
of, a lot of labor,
Okay, all right.
you know.
I asked.
When you do yours, you can.
Matt, what do you think?
I think it's a lot better than
Told you, I guess,
that
yeah.
Gothic stuff, the satanic sign from last week. It's hard for me to picture what this is gonna look like lit up. I'm gonna have to ask an honest question. To Cindy's point, I mean, I've been up and down that street quite a bit, just with all the applications. There's Rita's Forums here tonight somewhere too. That particular part of Wayne, which is why you want to be there, is, you know, sort of the hallmark of this area. And that's where, during the weekend, that's where everybody goes, and that's sort of our calling card, our signature hole, if you will. I just want to make sure that it's not going to look cheesy. And that's really my concern. And like,
That
you
is
know,
a-
Bravo has the halo effect. The other ones you're talking about, Cozy, that's on a different street, that's on Lancaster. This is a walking sort of cottage street.
Cozy is a fast
Have you
food
seen like
restaurant, too.
the Karanji Bakery sign in Paola?
Which one?
No.
What is it?
Karanji Bakery.
Can't place it.
Okay, that's
Where is
similar.
that? It's
thin,
new.
it's thin lines. It's just comes through the cutout lines. It's
I mean, it's been my experience that since I've been on the board, that the pictures never actually look like what's done. It's
Well-
usually a different color.
That's why I showed you Manella's, which I did. That's why I showed you
Yeah, Dom,
Nectar.
Dom, it's still
Okay.
pictures.
I mean,
But you
they're
know what,
they're there
Dom?
for a reason.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that.
No, we don't want it to look cheesy
do you
either.
think Nectar sign looks bad?
No, I don't. But Nectar's in a different area, and that's what Cindy's saying.
Okay.
But Nectar's very consistent with the architecture of that building, which is contemporary. And if you look at this section of North Wayne, you're going to do fabulously. Have you been there on a Friday night or Saturday night when they had, like, the Christmas tree
of
lighting?
course,
this?
yeah, I've been on a
Chris-
Tuesday night,
Christopher's, like, no lighting. The Free House, or what do they call it? I mean,
Well,
Boathouse
they're-
next door.
they're
like,
entitled to lighting.
pub,
That's
no.
not my-
Yeah, but I mean, they're subtle signs. They don't have any of that
All-
interior.
My point is, I just want to make sure that when this is up and on, that during the day, MIMS was small circles, as you pointed out, we approved MIMS. MIMS were small circles. They were classy and small and understated. This looks on the pictures and is described to an extent that, to me, it appears it's going to be a large light box. I know it's routed. I know it's got this. I know everything you've just said. When it's turned on at night and during the day, I just want to make sure it's not the albatross of Wayne Avenue. That's,
We can't go back.
No, it's actually will be less bright than the channel letters.
What's that Chinese restaurant right by the corner of,
you guys are, you know.
Can I ask you this? As I've said, I think the sign meets the code, and I'm going to have to vote for it because it meets the code. But I would ask you this, did you look at it in the reverse? As you have black awnings with yellow letters,
I've
did
looked
you
at
look?
it every day.
You did?
Yeah.
And you don't, it doesn't float your boat to reverse the
Gold
black
letters coming through.
on black, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would look tacky. I think white and red look much cleaner and more subtle at
White?
night than red.
at
No, the
night.
daytime, the day
No, no, I'm
sign.
saying if you did it in the day, if the day view, which is, I think, the one that we're more concerned about, because the night view, we understand, that's fine.
The night view looks nice.
If the day view was a red M and
Well, you
yellow
want contrast, you
lettering
want
on a black
contrast in the
background,
day.
And then at night, it would reverse to white on black.
right.
You want contrast.
I bet those yellow
Is that
letters would
something that
jump out
that you
nicely.
looked at, and did you, I mean, if you did and rejected it, then fine. If you didn't, though, maybe it's
We
worth.
looked at red background, black background during the day, a white background during the day. And we just felt that the warmness of that gold would come across as the Spanish
Okay.
theme that we wanted.
But Michael does make a good point. If you look at this one, your night view with, it would be consistent to have the same thing during the day, have the yellow letters on the black background would look pretty cool.
You're not gonna see the awning letters at night, though.
No, but you would see if your sign was yellow letters on a black background during the day, then you'd have a whole consistent thing going here. And at night, the only thing you're gonna
With
see.
yellow letters, you mean?
If you had yellow letters on a black background. And then at
Mhm.
night, it would look like this. It would reverse to this look again. But it would be a less, expanse of the yellow.
I
I think we
I
tried
have to
it,
say,
but it didn't look good.
I understand what you're saying, but I agree that it meets the code.
Yep.
I agree with Matt that it looks better than the previous sign in terms of the logo.
Sure, understand that.
My own predilection would be a black background too, but I can't tell you, I mean, it's your restaurant, and if you think that that's more important than the black background, I don't see any way to deny it.
We tried it. I think we tried it. We tried it all different colors, and this does look the best, and we're not gonna make it look cheesy. I mean, that's the last thing we want, is to look cheesy, and if it gets up there and it's painted an ugly yellow, we'll change it to
Well, how
a
about-
better
how about we
color.
do
I
this?
mean, you know,
We want to be part
How
of your
about,
success.
yeah, how about,
Yeah.
look, we want you guys
Oh,
to
absolutely.
have a great restaurant there, right? And the sign
you.
hopefully
I love
will not affect the flavor.
me too.
I want to be allowed to go.
I'll make a motion that DRB 0955 for the Matador at 110 North Wayne Avenue be approved as submitted with a yellow background and the functioning of the various letters to glow white at night, the way they were described. And I would also offer the option to the owner to consider looking at, and if they decide that they like it equal or better and want to do it, changing the black graphics on the sign to yellow or gold, whatever you want to call it, on a black background. And they have that flexibility.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
I'm good with that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks, folks.
right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
When do you think you'll open? I mean, if we let you do the sign, when do you?
We're pushing. The,
Hopefully, February, reopening.
When?
Beginning of February?
Great.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for
I
coming.
Thank
have
you
to
very
tell you
much.
something, I sleep a lot better with a margarita under my belt. 10 o'clock at night. I get a good night's sleep.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to DRB-09-59, Spizzico Pizza at 440 Morris Road in Wayne, an application for a wall sign. Thank you. Welcome, and thanks for your patience. It's been one of those nights.
And you are?
I'm Stu Lunick from Signs by Tomorrow in Bryn Mawr.
Okay. Where are we? This is next to the Wawa?
Bottle and can.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's next to bottle and can.
yeah, okay.
Where's Morris Road?
What? It's out near Kmart, where the Wawa is,
Oh, yeah.
in the beverage
Across from
store,
the exercise place?
across from Mason.
Yeah, Maison, La Maison.
Okay.
Great, I can skip the workout and just go have pizza.
So why don't you just tell us what you want to do, and
Thank you.
What we want to do is put up 15-inch plastic vacuum formed letters just across the front of the building as it's laid out. It used to be, I think, Minetti's Market.
The letters that you're putting up, it's same, different color, but is it roughly the same look as what Bottle and Can has right next door? You know how they have they spell out Bottle and Can?
Right.
Is it the same type of look / material as what they're using?
I don't know offhand.
you say vacuum form, that seems to, it's dimensional?
Yeah, it's 1 inch thick. And then
It's
it,
not illuminated, right?
It's not illuminated.
Are the edges, if it's 1 inch thick, are the edges right angles, or is it round?
Yeah, it's round. They're finished off. They're rounded.
The owner, he's not here, is he? No.
No.
The owner actually said that he, in a few months, wants to come back in for some gooseneck lighting
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
to reflect on it. But right now, all he really cares about is getting the sign up.
There's no lighting there right now, is
There's
there?
no lighting there
Yeah.
now. It actually, it's real nice. And the pizza's good, too.
Where, can you speak for the owner? Tell us about, because people are watching on TV, they wonder what's coming. Does he have another pizza shop?
They do. I think they're
Maybe Matt
actually,
can
he's
speak.
based out of Bucks County. I
Okay.
don't know the complete history. I think this is their second or third pizzeria.
Yeah, it's
They opened like 2 weeks ago.
it's a very.
Oh, it's open now?
It's not a
Yeah.
very offensive sign. It looks in place.
It's there?
Is it this?
No, but if you go there and you look at the bottle and can sign and
Oh,
what
okay.
Wawa does,
All right.
if this stuff turns out, and Matt, that's what I was asking you, if it's, I'm not exactly sure what vacuum plastic letters are, but if it has the same look as what bottle and can and Wawa has.
Did
I
you ever
think
see
it's gonna
the store that was there, the Minetti's
The
Market?
Minetti's?
It's
Yeah.
the same lettering. It's just, they had 14-inch letter. This is 15-inch.
It's gonna look
Okay.
nice.
Do we have a problem with 15 inch?
Well, I was going to suggest, is the lettering on the store next door is in the same location, basically, right?
Yes.
Is that 15 inches high?
Nope.
I don't know.
What do you think, it's
No,
smaller?
smaller.
Smaller.
How
It's,
much?
It's a good bit smaller. Its bottle and can is spelled out over, I think, a keg. per your earlier comment, what's code on this? 16 they have, if they want, or what's the most they can
No, I
do?
don't actually.
Well, I think
have
we
a-
usually go for 12.
We
on
go
some
for
of them.
12 unless it's on, the Gennardi Shopping Center or something. But it's,
Yeah, I don't
in
think.
downtown Wayne, definitely.
It's not in
12.
a very sensitive area, but I mean,
Right.
I don't think it would make a difference if you went to 14 inches, it's not gonna make a difference on this sign, it's gonna stand out very well, 14, 15.
Well, these-
Are they available in
We-
14, or is that
Oh,
something you have to
something you
buy?
just
separate
buy?
size?
They're custom made, so
Okay.
Oh,
they're
they're
available in any size.
Well, then let's do
It just
14.
shrinks the, probably shrink it down maybe a couple
Yeah, but
feet.
you can shrink,
Right.
you can shrink that down to 12 if you want. We're not recommending that, but I'm saying you could shrink it down
Yeah.
to 12 and it would still look fine. So
Yeah,
going
it's-
from 15
Yeah.
to 14, I don't think so.
Yeah, let's do that then. Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
You'd be all right with that?
Yeah.
14, okay. All right. Anything else?
Jim, did you want to make sure that the background,
Oh, it was repaired?
is repaired, correct?
Yeah, whoever makes a motion, whatever was up there.
Is that just a wood T111 kind of a background?
Yeah, they pulled the old letters off and they were supposed to resurface it.
Okay. I mean, you guys have done signs in the township, but the ordinance requires you to repair all that and paint it
Right,
out,
right.
and clean it up.
His contractors were supposed to take care of that.
Okay.
What's the condition of that background as you go across? Because it just keeps going, right?
Yeah, it goes to he has it to the very end of the building.
Is
And-
it the same all the way, but not where it meets Wawa, probably where it meets Wawa, the material changes, do you know? Is that,
I think
It's
that
the same?
band just runs right up
Okay.
into to where Wawa is.
So I guess we'll have to figure out how to feather that so that it's not a stark new and old paint job, right? I'll make a motion that DRB 0959 for Spizzico Pizza at 440 Morris Road in Wayne be approved as described with the caveats that the letter be no taller than 14 inch in height and that the background be patch sanded and repainted and feathered into the adjoining background areas on the building.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the fifth item on the agenda, DRB-09-60. It's Readers Forum at 114 North Wayne Avenue for a wall sign.
are they here?
Readers Forum folks aren't here.
I'm so excited about their new sign, too.
I don't know.
It's gonna look great.
So we'll table that, Matt? Okay,
Maybe they'll come in.
We'll try them again at the end of the meeting, but.
okay.
fine
Is
here.
what they're presenting conforming?
Yes.
Can you approve without the, no, I don't think
I
you
don't
can.
think we can.
I don't think you can by
That's
our
up to the
code,
chairman.
actually.
Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so that brings us to DRB-09-61, Pizzarella Grill at 958 County Line Road in Bryn Mawr for a wall sign and window signage. Good evening.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you just
How's everybody
introduce
doing?
yourself and
Good,
tell
how you
us?
doing?
Good. Long day. Definitely. Long day.
Turn it the other way, yep.
Alrighty. That's just page one. You
Yeah, we got it.
guys have copies, right?
Are you one of the owners?
I am Brendan O'Connor. I'm Vice President of Triton Signs. I design, build, and install these things.
Okay.
Personally. Okay, so any questions? I'm field certified, computer certified, whatever you want to call it.
So you are Triton.
One of two. Two-man crew, get it all done.
Where is this? This is next
This
to,
is- I'll be honest, I
bagel
have not
place?
even seen this location.
Yeah, it's the place
From
we-
what they've
we
told
just-
me,
I
it
know.
doesn't.
Next to the
it-
bagel.
It might exist
Yeah.
now.
Is it open yet?
Approve that.
I don't think it's under construction. They
No,
told me
it's
not
not.
even to bother because there's nothing to take a picture
No,
of.
no, it's not
Okay.
open yet.
okay.
So
This
we're
is
just,
where it was a doctor's office or something.
we're just
This is the
proposing
we
that.
just approved the change of facade on this building a few months ago.
They did a
Yeah,
really
they did a
nice
great
job.
job.
Okay.
All right, well,
Really shape up that part of town.
pretty
I have no
self-explanatory.
problem
Face
with
lit channel ladders on a raceway.
I had one question.
Sure.
When I was over there taking a look at it, the entrance sign, is that gonna be-
Yeah,
is that going to be lit or carved?
No, it's going to be neither. It's either going to be a non-illuminated panel, or it's going to be vinyl on like a header window that might be
Okay,
over the
because
door.
I was going to say, if that was going to be lit, that would really be ugly.
Yeah, no, that's hideous. It's going to be either frosted, so it's going to be subtle, or like I said,
Does
it'll
it
be,
show
if
on
there's
the-
no window there, we're just going to put a panel up there. Now, because the building's not complete, I don't, and I haven't seen any construction. I haven't even been to the site yet, because like I said, they've told me there's nothing there to
Oh,
give
no,
me any visual.
The facade's up.
the facade's finally up now.
Yeah.
And that would go, if you can see on the main drawing, we're doing window graphics,
Yeah,
or
no,
splashes.
it's gonna look
That's going to kind of go, if we have a window to work with, that's what I'd like to see, kind of a tie together there, frosted glass with frosted glass.
Yeah, I didn't see a window.
He's not.
Well, well, you can't,
Oh, you know, maybe
The whole
there
front
is.
is.
it doesn't, the designer put a sign in there.
Yeah.
That's, my drawing is
Yeah.
just the,
So bottom line is it would be frosted, it wouldn't be lit.
that's what I'd like to see.
All right.
But, and I'm assuming there's a window there, so it will be frosted
I
then.
can only speak for myself, but we can't approve or disapprove something that we don't know what it's gonna be.
Right. You make the call right now, and it's like one of those, if it's glass, I'll do frosted. If it's not glass, I won't do anything. And we'll come back if he really needs something over the entrance.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair.
I'm okay with that.
Well, can we approve the fascia sign? If that's,
Well, we can approve frosted too, and if he doesn't do it, he'll come back.
sure.
And yeah, this gentleman,
let's
we're
do
kind
that.
of jumping to secondary
Yeah,
signage
we
here.
should be doing the pizza
Yeah.
grill right now, I guess.
Face lit channel letters on a raceway,
Mm-hmm.
vinyl inlays. It's all LED.
Mm-hmm.
We're using high grade, 8-year film. Low voltage. We're within square footage. You guys tell me if you see any problems.
On your little rendering here, Rita's, that's a different
I'm
tenant.
not, yeah,
That's
I have
just
nothing.
shown for-
Somebody else put that in there.
Okay.
Somebody else did that whole, they took my drawing and popped it into their rendering, because I usually use photographs like most of these guys, and there was nothing.
Okay, so Pizzarilla Grill is taking the left 2/3 of the building.
Yes, and he actually has, because you guys, I think you guys max at 50. He could have 200 feet, but you guys max at 50, so he's got a lot more than,
Okay.
if the math would add up to over 50.
Are we okay with 16-inch? I am. Are we
They
okay
told me
with-
to shoot for 16.
Yeah, because we always reduce it or something.
Yeah, it is,
Well, we have in some shopping areas said, okay to 16.
How tall is the spandrel panel?
The pardon?
The background?
The actual, the
The
soffit,
architectural
the facade,
panel,
they told me 48. Now, I think what happened was some designer came in, 48 inches.
But the height of that,
4 feet of that band. Let me caveat that, though. I think what happened was, when I was brought in, there was a gentleman, I have his name somewhere, but he was an architect. Does everything pen and pencil, pen and paper. No computers. I
Yeah,
couldn't
we
get
saw
drawings from him.
Yeah, so,
I got a scan of this in black and white. This has a lot more detail in it than that did. And what that gentleman told me was it was 48, but then somebody brought a designer in, actually Corrado did, and they did all kinds of changes to this facade, and it looked like they added some details to the tops and stuff like that. So that 48 may have shrunk to, let's say, 38 or 42. But that, I'm going to say, from what I'm being told, from bottom to top, I'm 48.
okay.
My original visible, usable space without any moldings or cornices or whatever was 48.
Okay,
Should tomatoes be 24?
yeah.
I'd like to
Remember
see
we
that.
went
if
through,
it
What
was-
size are the
Color
letters?
9.
16.
16-inch
16.
letters.
Yes.
I didn't know what the requirement for tomato was.
it's a very big tomato.
I like it.
I think it
I
looks
got no
good.
problem.
Okay. It's clearly under 15 feet. Okay. So then we go to the second page, and you're saying you're requesting frosted on glass?
Yes, so
And
what
if
we
you
would
change
do is,
that, you'll
this
come
would
back.
be option number 1, end of story, basically cross out option number
Okay.
2. Because like I said to you, I said, if you guys can't approve on something that doesn't necessarily
Right.
exist yet, we'll just scratch option 2, and if there's no window there, we'll address that with you guys later.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Now,
And then the final,
the final thing, and this came across my desk yesterday. This is what, I got a feeling you guys may have seen this before.
no, we haven't.
You have not seen this pylon, this monument drawing at all.
Not with,
You
the-
haven't-
not with the
Not with
businesses in
Pizzarella
place.
Grill, but just with anything on it?
No,
Have
we-
you seen?
No.
It was
Regis
a-
hasn't come before
It was a
us, have they?
blank.
Have you
Oh, was it
seen?
part of the architectural? scheme?
Right.
We approved the monument, but not the,
Right.
not
You-
the.
you may
not
have
the
seen
signs in
this?
it. We-
Yes.
Yes, that we
Okay.
approved.
All right, well, this is, I guess, just the finished version of all the tenants. And I had just got this yesterday, obviously I submitted this 3 weeks ago, so I didn't know what my usable space was, if we were gonna go with the same layout as the building. Obviously, we are now. I didn't know,
Usable space-
so I didn't know if I was gonna have a shorter, wider thing to stack my logo or something
want
like
You have
that.
4 equal bands. That's the usable space. That's what we approved.
Yeah.
And this guy's got 5
Wait,
now.
put it, can
No,
you
I
put
don't-
it in front of the camera? Okay.
And
That's
still-
not me. I'm not even making anything to do with it. I just gave the guy the artwork yesterday.
That's still raised up on the brick stanchion.
I don't. have
No, it
any
looks
answer
like
to
it's
that question.
flattened out of the ground.
So are you
Uh,
here asking for?
All you
this
want-
No, no.
I'm
Number 1, right?
His 5 foot is,
number
The
1. Yes, yeah, because he took one of my drawings that has been floating around. He took it out, popped it into this, and then he called me yesterday because he needed tomatoes. So I sent him his tomatoes, and I figured I'd just bring that for you guys. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just kind of covering everybody's ass.
So are you asking for approval of that sign?
No, I'm just showing it to you.
Okay.
I mean, you can take off that whole second page if you want, except for the, obviously the frosted entrance.
well, then why
I
don't-
knew there was a
What are you asking
monument.
us to approve?
I'm sorry?
I just want to be sure, what are we being asked to approve?
All I'm asking for is this sign here, the storefront,
Right.
and this entrance sign.
No, the frosting.
The frost,
The
well, the
frosted
frosted glass,
entrance
the
sign, if it's
frosted
glass.
entrance vinyl.
Let's do that. Let's,
Oh, and yes, the bands across the window. I'm
okay,
sorry,
let's, oh, the
Those three-
decorative bands,
Those
okay.
3, the window graphics, which there's 9 of them, according to this drawing. And then this frosted glass on the entrance window.
Okay.
Because he's got more than one door, so he just wanted to delineate it.
If this makes sense to people, let's approve, obviously, the front sign, the window, the frosted if it's frosted, come
Yeah.
back if it's not, and then we'll require the landlord to come back with the monument signs a little bit later, once they know more.
Yeah, I'm not
Approve
sure
the
where they
monument.
stand.
I mean, all they're
We
doing
did
is-
approve the monument.
Yeah, we already approved the
No,
monument.
I understand.
Does he
They're
have
just
to,
putting in the names of the tenants.
He's not. That's somebody else's
No, but-
job.
I wonder if they even have to come back for that, Gene.
The applicant will have to come back if they want to put any signage in that monument sign.
Yeah, I agree.
So you've approved the blank sign?
We can approve, yeah, we approve the
Yeah,
blank
we
sign.
approved the form of the.
Because we may want to see, we may want to see,
We can approve an empty box.
That sounds good to me.
right. Because we want to know if it's, I mean, for instance, the,
I don't know any,
I call
you
it
can
the
see my
Denari-
drawings,
Denari
right?
Shopping Center all has consistent white
I
and
have
green.
no descriptions
We ended up
whatsoever on that.
approving, well, actually, they didn't come to us, but where Staples and Ozzy and all that is, everybody has their own, it's like a free-for-all on that
Yeah.
sign.
Well, it's like Mr. Kelly over here at 200 West. We approved, everything just said signage, but it was all uniform.
Right.
And that.
So
that
I
you
think
can
we
prove.
will want to see that coming back, and you're not asking for it anyway, so it's a done deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, does somebody want to make a motion then?
Want me to attempt it?
he's doing a great job.
I make a
You're the
motion that
one.
DRB 0961 for Pizzarella Grill at 958 County Line Road be approved for the building sign as submitted. The wall sign be approved for the frosted glazing signs and be approved for the entrance sign over the front door as submitted. Correct?
If it's,
Option
If
one.
it's
Option one.
Option one.
Option one,
of
I'm
that
sorry.
entrance sign.
Option one.
okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that brings us to DRB-09-62, which is Peanut Butter and Jane, 200 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne, for a wall sign. Good evening.
Mr. Kelly, I presume.
Good to see you.
Sorry, guys. There we go.
Keep sign.
Okay.
Turn the business card over.
Turn
It's
it
just
over.
upside down for,
Ah.
if you look up there, yeah, there.
Sorry about that.
He might be dyslexic, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Does that mean you get things,
I'm
everything?
kidding.
That's okay.
Thanks. We came here tonight because we had brought in signs before for the property at Town Center at Wayne, and we went through them. It was a little bit more extensive presentation, and we had gotten your approval for uniform signage. And what I'm finding is that as we've leased up, some of the tenants have some desire. We originally had it's a black matte finish on the boxes with a raised brushed silver letter. They're backlit in a halo effect. They're very subtle, and we don't want to really deviate from that. But some of the
retailers on the first floor had wanted to get some color in there. So we talked to Matt about that, and I think Matt's decision was that it was better to come back before DRB just to present them. So to the extent that they'll deviate, I don't mind coming back in as the requirement to keep you informed on what's going on there. This tenant is called Peanut Butter and Jane. It's a infants and young children's clothing boutique. And what she wanted to do was to use the black sign background that was approved, same type of lighting with the individual letters pushed through with a halo. The bottom where it says the children's boutique would be in the silver that was already approved to keep it down. And the Peanut Butter and Jane would be in a color that would be soft, similar to what would be like a Lily Pulitzer type of look, not electric or screaming at us.
You guys know who Lily Pulitzer? No, just kidding.
They're all single men then, without daughters. But no, so that's where we are. This store has been finished, so they're ready to open, and I think they actually just opened yesterday with a temporary sign that Matt's letting her use. But we have, I think we're going to be on the agenda for January for 2 other tenants for the single-story building and then for one of the other tenants.
Oh, you have a tenant for the single-story building?
Yeah.
Urban's been wondering.
Yeah.
What's coming?
We're pretty much, we only have 2,000 left on the first floor. We're totally leased there, and then on the second, we.
Can you say what the
Yeah.
single building is? And how-
Well, I think everybody in Wayne knows that the restaurant going there is White Dog out of
Right.
Penn.
Everybody's waiting for White Dog to
Yeah,
happen.
that's.
How are we doing on that?
If I got $1 for every time I got asked that question, we could.
I had dinner there last night.
The wrong White Dog. I mean,
Yeah, down on Sansom Street.
Yeah.
I think his effort is to try to get the construction finished in January, February, be open probably like March, is
Great.
what we're hearing.
And
There's
is
a lot of work. He already pulled his permit, and there's a lot of work done on the inside framing, and there's a lot that goes in through drainage and air conditioning and ducts and, all that sort of thing. So they'll be going in, and if they use the dog, which, is their logo, their trademark, it's blue and white, so that would be slightly, kind of almost like a Devon Hill.
Yeah.
It would be something like that, so we'd have to
So
come back.
really, the only difference on this sign is you're asking to present it with color. Is that
Yeah,
basically?
just the peanut butter and Jane part with the softer pink, and I brought the business card in.
I like it.
That would be representative of what we want, and the green. Other than that, it's the same type of structure, lighting, same size.
It's in a spot where it's not an issue.
No, it's consistent with, I like the whole architecture, what was done with the building, it looks great. I think the sign
Thanks.
is enhanced, yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Okay,
Can we approve it?
I'd like to.
I like it.
I like it.
Thank you.
Very
How big are the letters?
14.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too
Same
big.
letters you had before,
Excuse me,
right, in
16.
terms of
Yeah,
light and everything.
exactly. The Charles Schwab sign's up, which was the one we used for a prototype, and you can see it. Matter of fact, that's really faint. You can see it, but that's what they wanted, and that's what we got with
You
you.
did a very nice job, Mr. Kelly.
It looks
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thanks.
So wait, are you going to give us like just a clue on that single-story building? I don't have to know who, but what type
Okay,
of
and I'll tell you who it
business?
is. It's a company out of LA and Vancouver called Lululemon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're down on Walnut Street here. They're in Princeton and Greenwich, and they have 4 in Manhattan. And it's a
Lululemon.
it's women and men's, but predominantly geared to women. Sportswear, but really geared to yoga. And it's really high quality stuff, and it should be a good fit for
In there.
the area. Yeah.
We'll be back next
yeah,
month.
Yeah, and actually, I have younger daughters, and one in New York who's in fashion, and a wife, and they all seem to sort of relate to the store, so they seem to be a little bit bandwidth on the appeal.
It's good. I can't wait. I'll text my daughter.
That'll be good.
You can take their rent and just give it right back to them. And
Yeah, something like
Great.
that, yeah. Okay?
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that DRB 0962 for Peanut Butter and Jane at 200 West Lancaster Avenue be approved as submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second?
Yeah, thanks. Have a good
All in
holiday,
favor?
everybody.
Aye.
Sorry.
Thank
Okay, thank you. Okay, that brings us to the 8th item on the agenda, which is DRB-09-63 Sterling Optical at 373 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. Hi, this is Stratford Shopping Center?
Yes.
it's 2 away from FedEx,
Which way, right or left?
to the right of FedEx.
What's there now?
Sterling Optical.
Sterling Optical. Okay, yeah, I thought it was there.
Now tell us who you are.
I'm Brian Unovic with Sign Studios. I'm here with Vance. He's with Sterling Optical. And we're addressing a non-compliant sign. It's about a 40-year-old sign that we're replacing.
Okay.
And is this on? That is currently the light box that they have. He's actually the only light box in the center.
Brian, we don't have the Sterling Optical.
We just have, it was in a.
It might be under my
different
business name.
envelope or something, wasn't it?
You didn't get it?
No, that's the existing. We don't have
Oh, the
the
new one.
proposed. I don't.
I don't
We
think
don't
I
have-
got that
We
either.
don't have that one.
You should.
Got that?
It was in the packet.
Matt, we don't have his proposed Sterling Optical, do we?
I'm sorry, you don't have a copy of that?
Yeah, there was,
Wasn't in our packet.
there were 6 copies of everything.
No, this is what I had too. It didn't show this one.
Apologies. It's all right. Huh?
We got
The one
that.
Brian has on the table there. I mean, we have this, but that's
have
just
that.
showing the construction. We don't have the,
We got that.
we don't actually have the Sterling
We
Optical.
have that one already.
Looks like a
No,
90.
his proposed sign.
I make copies of this. These are.
But that's the
existing.
existing sign.
Yes.
All right, let me go
Okay,
make
we
copies.
have the blank beat.
Do you want me to go make copies now so you can see them?
Oh, here.
I don't need a copy. I
We
can
can
just look
probably
at,
just take a quick look at
I
it.
have an extra copy I could just,
Do you have an extra?
That's the existing one.
Oh.
yeah, we can just look at that and.
Okay.
You want that?
You don't have to
look
make,
at that
I can look on here,
This part.
I think.
one? Taking it
Yeah,
off.
here's his proposed.
Taking it off.
Okay. So you're proposing,
Ta-da.
all right.
Okay, now,
is that going to work?
yeah.
Good.
Okay.
We'll see.
Oh, I see. It's floated on, it's up here.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Anyway, what
Oh,
we're-
I'm sorry. Duh.
How big
Yeah,
is it?
it is on here. We do have it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's not shown on the bill, like, it doesn't matter. This is
I'm
good.
sorry. Okay.
So how big are those letters?
They're 14-inch channel letters.
The optical are?
The P, the T, the I, the C, the A are 14 inches.
14, okay.
The O and the L are 19 and a quarter.
Is that a logo that you use?
It is, it's a logo from Sterling.
Okay. Sterling is the logo and the optical is also.
Correct.
They use that on other.
They do, it's an approval logo.
So tell me again, the taller letters are 16?
The channel letters are 14 inches.
Okay.
They're actually, a
The
little
lower
under
ca-
14.
Well, the small caps.
The small ones are 14, yeah.
Correct.
I was just looking to see what we did for FedEx. Was that in the,
It's actually
that's-
a
yeah,
little-
FedEx is great.
We did 18 inches on the uppercase letters were not higher than 18, at least according to my
Yeah.
notes on FedEx.
Yeah, the O and the L are 18 and 3/4.
The what's?
The O and the L are 18 and 3/4 from the very, very top of the stroke of the letter,
Is there any reason we couldn't make them 18?
because it's part of the
Part of the
logo.
But I mean,
So
can
the
you-
proportional.
Yeah, we could.
Shrink
yeah.
everything so that it's
It's all
proportional.
Sure.
custom made, right?
Yeah, we can make it 18.
because just FedEx is down the way.
Since
so-
we did FedEx,
Yeah,
they
that's-
approved it
that's-
not higher than 18.
that's not a problem.
I never went and measured it.
You
so I'm
just scale everything down.
Yeah, I
Okay.
could just scale
All
it
right.
down slightly.
So they're mounted on a raceway?
No, they're not.
Oh, they're
That's
not.
the one
Okay,
thing
good.
that I changed that I
Good.
brought with me.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, it is different.
Good.
They're flush mount.
Great.
And it's really good. I mean, it's plexiglass acrylic. The returns are .063 aluminum. The lighting is LEDs. We're using US LEDs, which are a little nicer than the Sloan brand. It's a real nice LED.
So the optical letters are white during the day?
Yes, they're
And
white during the day.
Returns are what color?
Returns are blue, which match the
Oh, okay.
blue. It's a reflex blue
All right.
on the Pantone chart, which matches the Sterling above.
Okay.
So it's really nice.
And so the sterling above, is that illuminated?
The Sterling illuminates white. The background is
So it's a
opaque.
self-contained
It
light
is,
box?
correct. It's
During
a-
the day, is the sterling blue in the background?
No,
what-
it doesn't
okay,
change
so-
colors. No,
Okay,
it's
so
the
during
same.
the day, what does sterling look like?
It's always
White
consistent.
on blue?
White on blue,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And at night, it's white on blue.
And the sidewalls on the optical letters are opaque at night?
They're opaque, yes, correct.
Looks
And the
nice.
background's opaque,
And they're blue too, okay.
correct.
How long have you been there?
10 years.
Wow.
And
Nice.
you know to repair any block
We're going
marks
to,
or
right,
whatever?
in our proposal with Vance, we're repairing any holes properly.
I'll make a motion that DRB 0963 for Sterling Optical at 373 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne be approved as presented with the proviso that the tallest letter O and L be reduced to no more than 18 inches and everything else be scaled accordingly.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to item number 9, which is Silver Spoon Cafe at 503 West Lancaster Avenue for a wall sign and 1 ground sign.
You getting tired of it?
Welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you for your patience, too. Oh, you're moving?
We are moving, yes.
Oh, okay.
We're moving into Eagle Village.
All right.
I heard you did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
He was just telling me it's awesome.
Thank you. Well, we invite everybody to come and join us when we open in 2 or 3 weeks. We are looking for approval of our wall sign and also a plaque that will go on the pylon side on Eagle Road. So let's tackle the wall sign first. As you can see from your illustrations, the sign is a single-sided carved sign of high-density urethane board, and the letters are carved into the material and painted silver. The background of the sign is a sort of a burnt umber color, very much like the one we have now at our current location, and just coincidentally very similar to the one that was there when it was Buon Appetito in Eagle Village.
Which, just for our edification, which building is it? What number?
1110, Building 11. We're right next to the Valley Forge Flower Shop.
Oh, I thought you were coming out further, but that's a good spot. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's the spot there, the one on the right.
It's a great spot.
Okay,
Thanks, Matt.
okay. And so where does the sign
All right, now the
actually
sign,
go?
the sign goes right under the overhang, centered over those 4 doors
okay.
in a row.
That'll look nice.
Okay, again, not to belabor the point, but that's exactly where the signs have been in each of its restaurant,
Iteration.
yes.
Okay. Yep.
The tallest letters on the sign are 11.2 inches. And that's pretty much it, unless you folks have some questions.
Just out of curiosity, why are you the Silver Spoon and not Silver Spoon Cafe this go-around? You
Well,
are on the monument sign.
Well, we talked to the owners
Yeah.
of the landlords, the landlord there, and they like the sound of the Silver Spoon. When we first started, I was very insistent that there not be a "the" in front of it, so we were Silver Spoon. But
Right.
our customers have named us the Silver Spoon, so that's what we are. So.
Okay.
And you've been in business for quite a
6 years at
6
that
years?
location,
How
yes.
big's the new site? It looked pretty big.
The square footage
Yeah.
is 1,500 square feet,
And you're coming
which is
from-
a
What do you
nice
have now?
increase for us because we're under 1,000 square feet right now.
Nice.
Tell us about the cafe, what do you serve? You have a free
Well, we do
promo.
breakfast, lunch currently, and now with the additional space and the enlarged kitchen, we'll be doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Huh?
We're both takeout and dine-in, and the general menu is going to feature local and sustainable cuisine in the, what's today called the New American style. Some people call it California cuisine,
Great.
Napa cuisine.
Are you gonna, I know this is not under consideration for tonight, but outdoor dining?
Well, we hope to.
Yeah.
There is a community area outside our building,
Certainly
Yeah.
lends itself.
and
I know.
if people choose to eat there, we would invite them to.
I'd like to.
Well, I think you're going to have problems with Spread Eagle Village.
Really? Because they used to have outdoor dining for Rendezvous when they were there.
Yeah, it's not allowed in zoning.
It's not allowed?
No, it's only in the Wayne Business Overlay District.
I always say
Okay.
Right, and that's why it's just a community area.
So this is your large sign over the four doors.
Yes.
What is this sign?
And that's the plaque underneath it. And that will go
That's on the
on
monument
the
sign?
pylons,
Oh, because the monument sign says Silver Spoon
Well, we're
Cafe,
getting
so
rid
it'll
of
just say
cafe,
the
so you
Silver
got
Spoon
Silver
sign,
Spoon.
okay.
correct, just
Same-
the way you
same
see it
colors,
there.
right?
Same
Same
color.
It's
colors,
gonna look nice, because it's gonna blend well with the
yeah, we think so.
Spread Eagle
When do you
Village.
open?
We hope to open the week of Christmas.
Good.
Not a great time for a restaurant to open, but that's the way it is.
Great.
That gives you
It'll be
time to
good.
sort things out.
Yeah,
I think it looks really nice. It's going to be
Yeah,
great.
you have a great logo.
thank you very much.
One, Michael, take us home.
I might as well finish it off, huh?
Yeah.
I make a motion that DRB 0964 for the Silver Spoon Cafe at 503 West Lancaster Avenue be approved as submitted.
Second.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Ladies and
Great.
gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you and good luck.
Let me give that to you, you keep these, okay? Actually, no, this will be yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
We've got a
Keep
copy
that.
of
I
this.
got a copy.
The last item on the agenda tonight is Brain Balance Achievement Centers, which is a continuation, 250 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for 2 wall signs. Good evening.
I'm back.
You're back.
We did last time.
And let me just give you this real quick. This is something else, not this. But this is kind of colors of our business that just give you
From a
flyer.
flyer.
But
Oh, I was just telling someone I need a flyer. It's great. I'll send it to her. Yeah.
if you know any kids with learning disabilities, we'd be glad to, if you steer them our way, to us. Well, just talking to Rob Malillo, the creator of this, and he's about to issue a scientific paper that shows tremendous results that we're getting with our system. Up to close to 90% of the kids are getting
That's wonderful.
significant
That is
results.
wonderful.
We're really happy with that.
Good.
Okay, so last time, we identified what I've kind of called the ugly neon beacon phenomenon of our sign, okay? As Matt kind of
Mike,
recognized,
the microphone, no, right there. I just
Okay.
want you to talk into it.
okay, recognized this flaw in our design or whatever it was. So, and the idea was to shrink the brain, okay?
Right.
However, shrinking the brain doesn't work, okay? Because, well, okay, so let's say we hop on the train and go down to the Radnor Museum, okay? We go in there and we can all sit before the thinker and say, this is beautiful, okay? Okay, because the proportions of that statue, something about it brings you in, draws you in, okay? When you shrink the brain, it creates a disproportion to the sign that is not drawing you in, not looking good, okay? If you look at a logo on just about any logo you ever look at that has type written with it, the logo is always prominent or bigger than the type. When you shrink the sign like that, you create, well, an ugly sign, okay? So we can't do that. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with a couple of alternatives. So I suggested to the guys, okay, well, why don't we just turn the brain off at night? You know, we'll just,
Right.
you know, sever the cord. Okay, but they said, well, that's not going to work because people will look at that and say, the sign's broken, okay? Again, a detraction to our business because, well, why don't they fix the sign, okay? And then we thought about, okay, let's put a screen in back of the brain so that at night there's a dim glow instead of the ugly neon beacon, okay? So, again, it was thought that this is going to look broken again.
it's
People will
burning out or
look at it and go, oh, man, why don't they fix the lights in there, okay? So we're kind of stuck in a little bit, but we have some designs tonight that I think may work, hopefully, and I'm going to let Kevin Price, this is Kevin Price, he's actually been known as the Rodin of sign construction, and
Is that a new?
I feel sorry for you, because all night long we've been talking about signs, and I'm sure you're all signed
You'd be
out by
go
now.
I like
All my
your-
buddies have
Go.
been here, and they're gone and everything, and now it's just us, so
I like the signs. No, it's fun to hear about
it's
these
kind of
things.
fun to see, to talk about signs, but Al had shared with me that the color's kind of bright and bold, offensive kind of. So, and I didn't bring copies for all of you, I'm sorry. I didn't know how far along we were here, but my first suggestion would be just to go with the standard, dark green and orange, rather than the pastel green that is on the, that flyer that you received there. That was my first recommendation to the board here, would be just to go with more of a stock color. It doesn't show up real good on the screen. And since all my sign buddies are gone, I don't have to look real professional here. But this is kind of the colors that he was originally looking for.
Right, we were going with the,
And I'd like to go this route with more just traditional dark green and orange, These two here versus the two pastel-looking colors. And it will be LED lighting. The ideas of keeping the logo and stuff off would be.
Which ones am I looking at? These or those?
These are the ones that we'd like to propose to you.
Okay,
Versus
and that's
the
what it
two
was?
pastel, more,
Well, which is the one that you would like to do?
He's showing.
We would like to do these two colors right here, just an orange and a green. And that is kind of shown in this sketch right here. It's a little bit lighter than what that orange is because of the printer, but this gives you an idea. This is originally what he had. It was a real vibrant looking, we're trying to tone it down.
I like it a little darker.
How big's the brain?
The green is
It's
pretty bright.
26
Just like the
inches.
tomato.
The grain will be 26. One of the reasons why the grain has to be of some size is because all these little graphics here, it gets so small on the wall, it's almost going to look like there's cracks in the vinyl. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because they're thin graphics, but that's part of their logo that they really...
Could you refresh my memory and what happens at night with this sign?
At night, anything in color here would light up. In other words, the green would light up green.
So we will see green?
You'll see green and you'll see orange.
Okay.
It's not the bold, vibrant colors like that. It's more of a subdued green and a subdued orange.
I'd like to see another 100 choices before
I have one more
I don't know
choice.
enough choice.
I have one more choice, okay?
I wouldn't cater to him.
Well, he's only one vote, so maybe we should take him out first. I'm not joking.
He's
But-
dangerous, watch out.
But in all honesty.
Is this the one, this thing's moving around a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is this the one that you were
This is
pointing at?
what I'm proposing, this green and this orange versus this vibrant green and this
Mustard.
mustard. Yeah, it's more of a, it's actually a little bit different than that. Yeah, it's kind of a,
Yeah.
like a sunflowery.
Well, is that the real color, right?
This is real close to the color. Yeah.
This is ink, so.
Right, and this is what we would like to propose, is
Yeah.
the traditional color.
And your graphics are good with these changes?
I think so. I think that, the color change, I think is going to, it looks good to me, and I don't think it's going to be too far off from our other colors. When you walk in and all our other promo things will have.
Yeah, nobody's gonna come out and go, hey, wait a minute.
But I don't think they're going to.
This is the only place you're going to vary your colors a little or deepen them on your,
That's right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys recording this?
yes, it's on
That-
TV
okay.
right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you get to do a dance at the end of the show.
I know, I'm always
Uh-oh.
excited
There
about
are
it.
3 people currently watching.
And I will see all of them tomorrow.
Okay.
Are we ready for an approval?
We are.
He's hungry.
Now, I want to see, what's this other option?
I hate to show it to you because it may change your minds, but as a Plan B, I did this here. And I'm glad I did this because I know that one of the guys that was in here, it was hard to see. We could do the channel letters like this, where the green and the orange did not light up at all at night. So your night photo would be this sketch right here, okay? Before, you guys were looking at one this big, and I know it was tough for you guys, but
Okay.
this would be a thing where what we call the pillbox, which is,
Right.
this green pillbox now would be green during the day, and at night, it would be
The whole thing.
opaque.
Right.
Will we see achievement centers or nothing?
You'll see achievement centers, just
Right.
like in that,
If you,
like I'm
if
showing
you,
it, come
if you
through
do
in
the black
white.
and white, do the graphics inside the brain, can you still see them?
The graphics inside the brain will pretty much show like in this sketch right here, yeah.
Good, no, I just want to
But
make sure you can still
will
see
it
them.
be-
Yeah, I mean, it'll,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah. I mean, this, to be honest with you, this was, if you guys did not agree with the green and orange lighting up, we would like to go this way. Now, granted, if we did have to go with an opaque look like this at night, could we possibly go with Al's logo colors, which is the pastel colors?
So during the day, we
During
would
the
see the
day.
pastel colors, but
It
at
would be
night, we go to black
pastel.
and white.
So, see, I'm trying to give you guys,
Yeah,
you can
You know,
have it.
Yeah,
Here, my own personal take on this, I really like this second one. I think that's gonna look really sharp. And I have no problems with the
black.
original colors.
With the
I don't have
pastel
problems with the
colors?
original colors either, but I think.
But you know what what I was even gonna say is to just even jazz this up a little bit. And I don't know, maybe we're not allowed to do this. You'll tell me, because this is part of the logo. If the outer line of the brain was the color,
Oh, yeah.
that would be okay with me.
Like
the
a
orange.
yellow?
Like if you had the left
pastel
half
yellow?
with the orange outline and white wiggly stuff in the middle, and the right one was green outline with white wiggly stuff in the middle, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Is there any way
Because
you can
that's
get
part
the
of the
brain
logo.
pulse?
The rest
And
of
the
the
rest of
inside
it
will be
just,
black.
that would be cool.
No, well, no, it's white. It glows,
Yeah,
well,
the rest of it would
It's
look like
opaque,
this.
opaque.
Yeah,
Right. I'm good with that.
I think
Is
that
there
would
any
look.
way you can get the brain to pulse?
back and forth.
We're working on it. I like that idea.
I'm trying to
just
keep it
worried about
away,
him shrinking
I'm
the
trying to
brain.
keep it away
That's-
from looking like
The shrinking
kidneys.
didn't
That's what I'm
work.
trying to keep it away from, looking like kidneys, you know what I mean? But,
I know.
I like that choice. I like that.
I like Michael's I like the black, the night view too, better, but I like Michael's suggestion if that's something that you guys are open to.
So you're saying then that pinstripe around the outside, just to make that
Pop.
Yeah,
pop?
because that's the logo, and that would pop it a little bit.
But yet-
See, before what got us was, it's a very vibrant color, and it was a very big, solid thing that was gonna glow, and that was just like, oh my, that's way too hard.
Right.
Right.
I gotta put some thought into how to make that work, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Uh,
But
just-
you're
3D glass.
Rodin of signs.
I used
How
to
about
be.
if we wear 3D
I used to be,
glasses?
until about 5 minutes ago, but I just had to figure out how to make that work, because in a situation like this, when you're doing a light color and you're making it opaque, it requires painting the background black first, and then painting it the bright
Well,
orange
the other
color.
option is all white, so.
And that's where it's gonna be hard to get a definite,
Well, it was just a, you know,
that could be hard. It may
Good
not
choice.
work.
Well, I think what we're saying is we like the last one you showed us, and if you're able to do it with the color on the outside, more power to you.
At night.
If
At
I'm
night.
not,
Yeah.
if I'm not, is that all right?
Yeah.
Then we just go all white.
Just go all white. Yeah.
Just like it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, this is how, it's gonna be the original pastel color. It's gonna look just like this, except it's gonna have a white pinstripe around it,
Right.
you know, and then at night, of course, it'll be this
Right.
same look,
Okay,
okay?
that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
He says, well, Michael's just ruled tonight. I think he should make a motion.
Michael's gonna set a record. This is the first time in the history of the Design Review Board
That you have
where
not-
one person.
This is beneficial
Yes,
being last. I kinda like this idea.
Maybe this can get-
Put us at 10th all the time. We'll take 10th, that's fine.
Can I keep this
Sure,
for
you can keep
record?
that, yes.
And then do you have the
One person.
swatch?
I'm
Can
gonna
I
hear
keep
how
this-
they-
the swatch here?
Has done all the.
Yes, well, we're gonna go back to the true
The
colors.
acknowledgement.
Maybe you can just give.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that DRB 0953 for the Brain Balance Achievement Center to be located at 250 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne be approved with its original colors as originally submitted at the prior meeting, and a night lighting scheme in accordance with, what are we calling that? The third alternative, wherein the
Be black at night with.
everything that illuminates at night is a white, including the brain, which is a graphic squiggle lighting up white, and the border around the brain, the thin line border could either be white or yellow and green, if that's something the owner wants to pursue.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Good job.
thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Sure, thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, so, this friend of mine's child is ADD. No.
Let's wait till we're off the air.
Oh, are we still in the air? Lord.
So, do we have any more business before the board? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
No, I would just like to mention one thing, and I know that, I've
Just don't want you to be on TV
Matt
talking
and-
about your friend.
And Matt's passed it on to other township, I'm sorry. I've discussed this with Matt, and Matt's passed it on to other township officials, et cetera, for pursuing it, and I know they are pursuing it. The corner of Wayne and Lancaster the southeast corner, was recently reconstructed by state workers. And I understand they did a number of corners around town, but the one that
Oh,
I'm...
for the handicap.
Yeah.
For the handicap,
Yeah. Right.
curb
Your
cuts, et
building.
cetera. This is right at the corner, I mean, this is right on the four corners of downtown Wayne, the one that I'm
Right.
talking about.
Right.
But I understand there are several others throughout town, I'm
Yeah,
not
they're all
quite sure.
along Lancaster. It's
of
probably part of the
which
stimulus
location.
package.
Doing wheelchair cuts?
Well, when you go and you look at this thing, it's an accident waiting to happen. So I think just as, you know, as a design review board, I know we don't really have jurisdiction over state construction, et cetera, but I would like to support and make a comment of support for the township engineering groups pursuing corrections to that area.
What is
as
the
they
accident
have done.
waiting to happen?
That it has trippers, it has pointed edges, that if you fall, you could literally knock your brains out. It's
You mean
just,
those pads that they inserted in the concrete? They're kind of
if you
orange pads?
take a look at it,
Yeah.
they've created curbs, they've created small tripper curbs of an inch to maybe an inch and a quarter, right where you think you're gonna walk, you're gonna catch your foot. In fact, the other night when it was First Friday, we were there, and people were banging into it, because it's dark, you know,
Yeah.
you're not looking down at your feet. There's a 4-inch curb with very sharp points on it against the building and out in the street. It's just, it's very dangerous, and it needs to be corrected before there's a real tragedy there. And I understand from the dialogue that I've had with some of the township folks that this is not the only intersection with issues. And they are pursuing it, and I think as a design review board, we should, you know, applaud them for pursuing it, and hopefully, we can all see something get corrected there.
Well, Dan Malloy and Bill Hagan, Dan, our township engineer, and Bill, our director of public works, have been aggressive with PennDOT. And PennDOT is addressing these probably the first of the year in January. This is all part of the, by the way, the loop, the closed loop signal from Sugartown Road all the way down to County Line Road.
Yeah.
And part of that was to upgrade all four corners of each intersection to ADA accessible.
What is a closed loop signal? What is that?
Well, what it'll be timed now, okay? So when you get to Shimoni, rather than just sit there when there's nobody coming north and south, it'll all be interconnected for peak hours for greens, east and
Keep
westbound.
things moving, in other
So
words.
people can go
To-
faster.
That's PennDOT's
So if you
goal,
get that,
to get the volume going, so you won't
So the
have,
lights are timed.
exactly. And then they'll readjust accordingly. And then plus, they put in timers for pedestrians now, so you know how much time you have left.
Yeah,
which
it's like
I
countdown.
saw that.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Countdown, and that's nice. But that being said, there are some issues with some of the ramps, and Dan and Bill have been aggressive with that, so.
Okay.
Well, I think everybody should take a look at it, because if they need, you know, if they need help from us as a body, as a design review board, I think, you know, we could make a motion of support that that be pursued to be corrected, because it's just, it's not right.
Yeah, and I'd like to just end the year with thanking the DRB for your time and efforts this year. I appreciate your involvement.
It's our last meeting this
Oh,
year.
it's our
isn't
last
it?
meeting in
It is.
Yeah.
It is, but again, you know, thank you for your involvement.
And I'd like to personally thank Matt Bauman for doing a great job
Yep.
in supporting
Yeah.
this group
Absolutely.
like no one ever has done before.
Thanks.
Great
Yeah.
job, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I love you guys.
So we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.